Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto was Yubi and My Little Pony. Before I start, please support for more amazing content and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by Shigiya and link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. Naruto stared at the man that was laying on the ground before him. They were in the middle of the torn lands of a wasteland, with the rain pelting on the countless bodies that littered the grounds around them, as well as his comrades and friends, all of them who had come and tried to end this war and defeat the madman that wanted to control the world. He had planned to use all of the Bijuu's power to form the juubi and use its power rule the elemental nations by submerging them in an everlasting illusion. Naruto had changed much over the years. He was standing at a height of 6'2", a height he would have been happy to gloat to his friends if he had the chance. He let his hair grow out until it reached his mid-back. He wore a red cloak with black flames licking the edges. He had a jonin vest that was littered with holes, tears and cuts. He wore a dark blue long sleeve with dark blue pants and a pair of black strap sandals. Naruto kept staring at the man, ignoring the rain that washing over them. "So it is just you and me, Jinchuriki." Madara was panting as he tried to get back up but was pushed back down as Naruto slammed his foot onto his chest, electing a gasp of pain from him. Naruto stayed silent as he kept the man from moving. He can still remember how it all came down to this. It's been 5 years since the war started and so much has changed since the start of the war, but he can still remember it clearly to this day. It took a year just to stop all the undead ninjas from coming back. Thanks to Itachi's help, they were able to stop the Edo tents except Madara, who did not dissipate as well, who disappeared later on in the battle, but there still was the problem with the Zetsus. No matter how many they took out, they still kept coming. The next couple years were spent trying to find the location of the Zetsus as they were becoming harder and harder to push back since they were able to take forms of allied ninjas. They were able to capture the Black Zetsus thanks to the Hyugas. The information they extracted from him was vital to finding the location of the ever-growing Zetsus, but they also found some things about Madara as well. It seemed that Madara had alternative plans for the Bijuus other than forming the juubi and creating the infinite Tsukuyomi. As they were going to find out more, Black Zetsu dissolved himself before they could get any more information from him, but they already got what they needed from him and went upon searching the area. They had found the Zetsu plantation, but they also found. They tried to free him, but he was fused to the tree that it made it impossible for them to break him out. Yamato told them that they should destroy the tree before more of the Zetsu reinforcement arrives, that it was too late for him. They did as they were told and planted explosive tags all around the tree, along with Yamato and the unborn Zetsus. As everyone left, Yamato had set off the explosive, destroying everything in the cave. It was a victory for the Ninja Alliance, but it was a small loss for Obito and Madara, but they already had enough Zetsus to keep the plan going. In the end, even with Yamato's sacrifice, the battle had become a stalemate. "Madara, tell me, is this the way you wanted to bring peace?" growled Naruto, taking shallow breaths as stared coldly at the once dead Uchiha below. Through the years, the war had changed Naruto, gone with his childish attitude, now replaced with a hardened warrior. He trained on controlling his chakra until he had full control of it. Kakashi was willing to help him ninjutsu and tactics, Guy had helped him with his physical strength and speed, and Kirby Plus had taught him some swordsmanship, even Kurama had helped him a little by teaching him ways on using his chakra. It took 2 years, but Naruto was finally ready to face Madara and Obito. Naruto and his senseis met them, but were shocked to see that fully Alice, as he didn't show any signs of being under the Edo Tensei effects and the Jed Masm. Kakashi and Guy had chosen to take on Obito, Kakashi's former teammate. Naruto and Kirby Plus took on Madara, ready to end this bloody war. Kakashi and Guy had fought Obito with every trick in their arsenal until they finally ended him, but not without a price. Kakashi had restrained Obito, while Guy released all 8 gates to run him through, ending both of their lives instantly. Guy wasn't the only one to die, as Kakashi pushed himself beyond the point of chakra exhaustion. The continuous use the Kamui and the Rikiri had taken a big toll in the battle, killing him in the process. Naruto and Kirby Plus had a difficult time with Madara. The man truly is as powerful as the legends were told about him. The man had matched them with everything they could dish out. They tried to use brute strength to defeat him, but as Susanoo had taken the brunt of their attacks, it didn't help that he was very fast. Kirby Plus had came up with a plan to get to Madara. Kirby Plus went into his Bijuu form, going with frontal assault to distract him, while Naruto got behind him. Madara had moved behind Kirby Plus and started to puncture him with chakra rods before forming his hands in the snake chains had sprouted out of the Jed Maz mouth, wrapping themselves around Kirby Plus' body. Naruto wanted to help him, but Kirby Plus had told him to stick with the plan. He attacked Madara, who was focused on Kirby Plus. Madara had felt intense, searing pain on his back which shattered his spine as launching the Uchiha into the air. Before he could retaliate, he was again hit from behind with a volley of kicks, and then he saw Naruto in front with another Rasengan slammed into his stomach and was sent sailing down to the ground. Naruto then restraining him with his chakra chains, making sure to keep his hands away from each other. He was about to go check on Kirby Plus and try to get the chakra rods out of him, but it was too late, he was lying on the ground with not an ounce of chakra within him. Not exactly, but I can't have any complications with such trash in the way of my plan. He said simply, ignoring the perturbed look on the Jinchuriki's face. Naruto gritted his teeth as he just glared, but kept calm facade. None of this had to end this way. If you and your little friends had just given in, then everyone could have experienced everlasting peace. No, your peace would have been a false peace. Even then you just wanted to control everyone under your illusion and become the new god. Naruto shouted angrily as he glared at Madara, but all he ever did was just looked at the blonde ninja impassively, before smiling. HMPH, after all this time, I thought you were just a stupid child. He said as more blood traveled from the corner of his mouth, maybe that's why I lost to you. I forgot the first rule of the shinobi code. A shinobi must never underestimate its opponent. It doesn't matter anymore, everything you have is gone. Your army and your subordinates, they're all gone, and when I finally end you, I am going to set free all the Biju and destroy that stupid statue of yours. Face it, Madara, you lost, Naruto giving him a cold glare, then he started to prepare Biju Rasengan. May you rot in hell, you bastard. Just as he was about to hit him with the Rasengan, he felt something was pulling him from behind. When he looked behind him, he saw there was a vortex. He turned to look at Madara, who was smiling. If I can't achieve my dream, then neither shall you. The Uchiha laughed as he watched the blonde struggle against the pull of the vortex. You bastard, Naruto screamed as he slammed the Rasengan into his head, killing him instantly. Naruto tried desperately to escape the vortex, but no matter what he tried, it kept pulling him in. Damn it. Was all he said as he was completely sucked into the vortex, never to be seen again. Equestria. In a small clearing you can see 3 people who were standing on top of. What was really interesting about them was they each had a pair of wings. The one in front of the other 2 seemed to be the leading of the group. She looked to be around 5'5" in height and had a pair of sky blue, had a nice athletic build. She had light tan skin and magenta eyes that held determination, but what was really eye-catching about her was her hair. It was a spectrum of colors, which made it look like a rainbow that reached to her lower back. She was wearing an open sky blue leather jacket with white stripes going down the sides and a tight white and sky blue blouse. She wore sky blue track pants and had on white runner shoes. Now listen girls, our job is to clear these clouds out here that been covering the apple orchard for a while now. I would have done it myself, but the higher ups say you 2 need to meet your quota on this month. Said the girl with the rainbow hair looking at the other 2. Well, Rainbow Dash, now wasn't a good time. I had a tea appointment with some of my animal friends, they're going to be upset that I cancelled on them. Said the pink-haired one of the group. She had long light pink hair that reached below her waist and cyan blue eyes that held pure gentle innocence. She was 5'7", taller than Rainbow Dash and has fair skin and had a pair of pale yellow wings. She had figure that many women would kill to have. She had an hourglass figure with curves in all the right place. Her eyes were a moderate shade of cyan which had a sparkle in them. She was wearing a pale yellow turtleneck sweatshirt and a long green skirt with a pair of brown hippie sandals. Yeah, Dash, couldn't you ask me to do this after I was finished having my lunch? Said the other had long pale blonde hair that reached to her mid-back, light tan skin and golden yellow eyes, and had a pair of grey wings. She was about the same height as Fluttershy. She didn't have an athletic build like Rainbow Dash or a great figure like Fluttershy, but she was still was wearing a grey short-sleeved dress shirt with 2 front pockets and short brown cargo pants with a pair of black work boots. Hey, I would love nothing more than to go back to my training for the Wonderbolts, but the guys up at Cloudsdale wanted us to finish by getting rid of the clouds here at Apple Orchard. Said Rainbow Dash with disdain in her voice as the 2 other flyers scratched their arms nervously at the thought of remedial classes. Oh, okay then, the pink-haired girl squeaked out as she looked at the blonde. Fine, the blonde-haired girl sighed knowing how time-consuming that class was. Okay, Ditsy, I want you to gather the cloud that are on the right side of the orchard. Ditsy just nodded watching Rainbow Dash turn her attention to Fluttershy. And Fluttershy, I want you to take the left side of the orchard. Fluttershy just gave a nod as the rainbow-haired girl turned her attention back to the both of them. And after you guys gather all the clouds, I'll start smashing them all, are we all clear? They both nodded in unison. But then let's get this over with, the faster we finish, the faster we can go back to what we were doing. Naruto was floating in an endless abyss as he contemplated on everything that has happened. He didn't know what to feel at this point. He had managed to stop Madara from controlling the world but failed to save those that were precious to him. Hey Kurama, is there any way to get out of here? Thought Naruto asking his tenant. Well, there is one way out of this place, but it is highly risky. Well, what is it? asked Naruto, wondering how they will get back to the elemental nations. Well, if I pour all my chakra into your system and then focus at one point, it will powerful enough to open another portal out of here. That doesn't sound so bad. Why did you say I wasn't going to like it? Because if do so the process will change you into a Biju, and the chances of opening the right portal to our world is 1 in a million, and also there is a chance that we could die. And the chance of getting the right one to our world is zilch, huh? Yep, but do you really want to back anyway? Naruto didn't say anything for a minute as he pondered his options. Going to an entirely new world was probably be better, since he doesn't has nothing left for him in his world. Naruto didn't say anything for a while, then he thought, does this mean I'm going to turn into a giant chakra beast if this works? No, you will still keep your human form, but your strength, speed, agility, and you will have all of my chakra. But Kurama, what will happen to you? I will be nothing more than a living conscious in your mind. Well, that sucks, but at least I won't be totally alone. Naruto, get ready, we're about to begin. Kurama. Yeah, kid. Thanks for everything. No problem, kid. With no other word they started the plan. Naruto started to feel Kurama's power started to course through his whole body before it all started to focus around his stomach. He even expected it to hurt, but he didn't expect it to hurt this much. He wanted to end it so badly, just to get away from the pain. Just hold on a little longer, kid, we're almost there. Then Naruto saw a portal started to open up. It started to pull him until it finally touched him, and with that he was gone. Equestria. And done, Rainbow Dash stated as she punched right through the last one of the clouds. Oh good, Fluttershy said quietly, looking over to her blonde friend. Finally. Ditsy stated, happy to finish the job. They were about to go back to what they were doing, but were stopped by a thunderous roar from up above. They looked up, seeing a multicolored vortex open and a flaming object shoot out and head straight into the Everfree forest. Whoa, did you guys see that? Screamed Rainbow Dash. Why yes. Said Fluttershy quietly, scared as she hid behind Ditsy. No Dash, I was busy looking at the thing falling from the sky. Ditsy said with sarcasm dripping from her voice. Well then, let's go check it out then. Rainbow Dash started to fly off, not giving either of them a chance to answer, heading to where object had crashed. Fluttershy, let's go after Rainbow Dash before she gets in trouble, said Ditsy. I am got to go. I have some very important things to do, yes, so I need to do those important things, now, I mean if you don't mind. Fluttershy said, backing up, absolutely scared of the thought of going into the Everfree forest. Oh, I see. Said Ditsy, giving Fluttershy a blank stare. So you find whatever you're doing more important than making sure that your friends are safe? She said, but before Fluttershy could retort, Ditsy went on, no, don't say it. I'm sure whatever you have to do is more important than making sure that Rainbow Dash is okay, even though she is going into the very dangerous Everfree forest, where the chances of her getting eaten is very high. Ditsy said in a sad voice before she turned around to hide her smirk, knowing the poor girl conscious would get her to come with her. Everfree forest. You're so mean, Ditsy. Fluttershy huffed as she and Ditsy flew behind Rainbow Dash. Thankfully the object didn't land too deep into the Everfree forest, so they were mostly safe from the more dangerous animals that lurk in the untamed habitat. Oh Fluttershy, you know I'm not mean, I'm just very persuasive, he. Ditsy giggled a bit as Fluttershy just gave a small huff of disapproval. Oh Fluttershy, don't be mad. Said Ditsy as she wrapped an arm around Fluttershy. Okay, how about this, Fluttershy, what if I help you take care of your animals on my day off, and I'll even bring Dinky if you want, as a way to apologize for tricking you like that, Said Ditsy, hoping the shy girl wouldn't take offense to her. Fluttershy still didn't say anything, but Ditsy saw a twitch from her wings showing she was listening, so she needed one more incentive. And I will also bring you your favorite muffin. Do you promise? Asked Fluttershy, finally answering her. I promise. Okay, I forgive you. Fluttershy gave Ditsy a small hug as they both watched the rainbow beginning to slow down. Hey girls, we're almost there. Said Rainbow Dash as they were starting to see the crater from whatever crash landed. They started to descend near the crater. As they got closer, they started to get a better view on what was inside of the crater. I can see something inside the crater, it looks like a person. Said Fluttershy as she looked deeper into the crater, then she gasped and covered her mouth in shock at what she saw. Hey, what's wrong, Fluttershy? Asked Rainbow Dash, seeing her shocked face. Fluttershy didn't say anything, she just pointed in the crater. They turned their attention to where she was pointing at, and what they saw shocked them. In the crater they saw a young man with blonde hair, 3 whisker marks on his cheeks, who seemed to be around his 20s, was hurt and was covered in deep gashes and blood. His right arm seemed to be bent out in an odd angle. Most of his clothes were destroyed, except for his headband that had a leaf on the front, and thankfully, his pants were still there, but they were barely hanging on to him though. Oh my goodness. Screamed Fluttershy, being the first one to break out of her shock. She flew down into the crater. Sitting next to the young man, she ignored the blood that was on his chest as she pressed her head on it. She prayed to Celestia that he was still alive. "Please, please still be alive," pleaded Fluttershy, hoping to hear a heartbeat. As if her prayers had been answered, she heard a soft heartbeat. It was faint, but it was still there. Rainbow Dash, Ditsy, come and help me, he's still alive. Fluttershy screamed aloud as she tried to pick him up. The two finally snap out of their shock thanks to the pink-haired girl and went down to assist Fluttershy get him out of the crater. "Oh man, we have to get this guy to the hospital," said Rainbow Dash as they gently pulled him out of the crater. "Yes, Rainbow Dash, I need you to go get Applejack and tell her to bring the cart over here quickly." Rainbow Dash nodded and flew off to go get Applejack. "Ditsy, I need you to go get a first aid kit quickly." Ditsy gave a salute and flew off. Fluttershy was now left all alone with young man. "I have to stop the bleeding, oh I wish that Ditsy would hurry with those bandages," thought Fluttershy. She had no choice but to rip off the sleeve of her sweater. She wrapped the sleeve around his arm after she took off his headband, but when she did a card fell out. It had a picture of him on it. She could not read what was written on the card. After a while Fluttershy started to smell something awful and then started to hear some growls. She looked out to the forest and saw something that made her freeze in fright. There were wolf-like creatures that were made out of wood with glowing green eyes. They were looking at them with hungry eyes. "Ugh, where am I?" asked a voice. It startled Fluttershy. She looked down and saw that the injured man had woken up. His deep cerulean eyes looked at her with curiosity and pain. "Oh my goodness, you're awake." Fluttershy gave a sigh of relief. "Don't worry sir, help is on the way." "Thank you, but who are you?" he asked. "My name is Fluttershy." "What a nice name," Naruto said, making Fluttershy blush a little. He started feel his eyes starting to get heavy. "I would ask you more question milliseconds, Fluttershy, but I just feel so tired right now." Whispering the last part as young man started to close his eyes. "Wait, sir." But it was too late, he already closed his eyes, though thankfully he was just sleeping. Just as Fluttershy was going to try to wake him up again, she started to hear a cart being pulled. She looked at the direction to where the noise was coming from. There she saw her friends coming. One girl was riding a horse that was pulling a cart. Rainbow Dash and Ditsy were flying right next to it. "Whoa, this guy looks more worse than a rundown old barn. What in tarnation happened to this fella?" asked the new girl as she got off her horse after reaching to where Fluttershy was and ran to where she was. She had long blonde hair that reached below her waist, which was tied in a ponytail, and was standing at a height of 6'0". She had tan skin, emerald eyes and 3 white freckles on each cheek. She was wearing a red plaid shirt and had a brown sleeves open leather vest which had some tassels on the front and a pair of brown worker gloves. She had blue shorts and brown cowboy boots which had some apple design on the sides. Ditsy flew past her and went to Fluttershy and gave her the bandages, which she started to wrap it around his wounds. "No time to explain, Applejack, he lost a lot of blood, we need to get him to the hospital," said Fluttershy. "Rainbow Dash, open the cart so I can put him in the back," yelled Applejack, gently picking up the young man. Rainbow Dash did what she was told and moved out the way when Applejack came through. She laid the man down onto the cart as Fluttershy climbed into it, staying next to him. "Okay gals, let's go, Hiya," screamed Applejack. Appleville, hospital. Nurse Redeert was having a slow day. Nothing too exciting seemed to happen in Appleville, but she was thankful for that though. She thought it was going to be same like any other day until someone or someone's busted through the doors and started to screaming. Her first reaction was to kick the idiots out until she saw the person they were carrying. She never saw anyone that injured before here in Appleville. She immediately started to call for the doctors and other nurses. They came quickly bringing with them a stretcher and took him into the ER. It already has been a few hours since they took him to the ER and have not heard anything on his condition yet. They were all in the waiting room. Rainbow Dash was pacing around and Applejack chose to take a seat, as well Fluttershy and Ditsy who have already fallen asleep from the long wait. "What in Celestia's name is taking them so long?" screamed Rainbow Dash, startling the sleeping duo. "Calm down Rainbow Dash, I know anxious and all, you gotta be patient. The fella was in pretty bad shape when we brought him in," said Applejack reading through one of the magazine that was in the lobby. Rainbow Dash just growled and went to take a seat. After a couple of more minutes, the doctor finally came out from the ER. The girls got out of their seats, started asking if the young man was okay. Ladies, calm down, everything is fine, the patient is just sleeping now," said the doctor as the girls finally calmed down. It was touch and go there for a minute for the patient, but he pulled through. The girls were all relieved about the news. "Who was the one administer the first aid?" he asked. Fluttershy raised her hand shyly. "You should be proud young lady, it's thanks first aid and you girls' quick transportation that he was able to make it through. When you guys brought him, well, let's just say he is very lucky to be alive right now," said the doctor, but he frowned a bit. "What's wrong doctor?" asked Applejack. Well, when we trying close his wound something really strange happened. Like what? Asked Itzy. I'm still not sure if it really happened or my mind was just playing tricks on me from the stress, but it looked like the wounds were already closing by itself. Well, that's weird. Said Rainbow Dash. Indeed it is. Agreed the doctor. Anyway, does anyone know who the patient is? All the girls shook their head. Well, is there anything that can give us a clue on who he is? He asked, and again they all shook their heads until Fluttershy remembers something. Well, I do have this, but it's kind of burnt and I can really read what it says. Said Fluttershy as she pulled out the headband and card from her pocket and handed the card to him. The doctor scanned it but had no clue what it said. Well, it seems that we have to wait until the patient wakes up so he tell us who he is. He said as he handed the card back to Fluttershy. And how long will that take? Asked Rainbow Dash. See how badly injured he was, at least 4 months. Now you girls head on home, you all look tired, and after this ordeal, you girls all deserve a nice relaxing rest. We'll contact you if anything changes with him. The girls all nodded, left the hospital and went back home to get some rest. 2 weeks later. Nurse Redeert was checking on the patient that was brought in a few days ago. When they first brought him in, he was already at death's door, but now, he looked like he was in perfect health and it baffled the doctors to no end. It would have looked like nothing happened to him if it wasn't for the fact he was still covered in bandages and cast. She was about to leave when she started to hear groaning from behind. When she turned, she was shocked to see the patient starting to wake up. Oh my gosh. Said Nurse Redeert. Go outside, doctor. Yes, Nurse Redeert, what the problem? He said as he started to come from around the corner. The patient, he's awake. That impossible. How can he be awake? Said the doctor, surprised by this new information. He should have been out for months, it only been 2 weeks. He said, well, I'll go check on him. Well, you contact those nice young ladies that helped him and tell them that the patient is finally woken up. She nodded and left. They walked back into the room. When they got inside they found the patient standing upright and looking around the room. Hello sir, how are you doing? He asked. The patient turned his attention directly at him, looking at him a little suspiciously, but after a while he spoke. I feel a little sore, but other than that I feel fine. Really? Said the doctor as he looked at the patient. Doctor? The doctor snapped out of his thoughts. Oh yes, did you have any questions? Who are you? And where am I? Oh yes, my name is Dr. Stable and you are inside at Appleville Hospital. By the way sir, what is your name? Asked Dr. Stable. My name? Asked the patient confusedly. Yes, your name. Don't know. You don't know? The patient just nodded. Do you know where you're from? A quick shake of his head was all that he got. Do you remember any of your family? Again another shake of his head. Oh, this is worse than I thought. Doctor, the girls are here, said Nurse Redeert as she brought in the girls. You girls are here, I need your help. Said Dr. Stable, walking up to them. What's wrong, doctor? Asked Fluttershy. Well, it seems that he has amnesia. Said the doctor. Everyone gasped in surprise by the news, and I was hoping that you still had that card that you found on him. Oh yes, here you go. Said Fluttershy as she pulled out the card from her pocket and handed it over to the doctor. The doctor took it and walked over to the patient. Thank you. He said, handing the card to him, who looked at him wondering why he gave it to him. Tell me, can you read what's on the card? Yes. Good, said the doctor happily after finding a breakthrough. Can you tell what it says? Sure. He said as he started to read the card. It says Naruto Uzumaki. Then after he said that he started to look at the card more intensely. He started to feel a migraine until to become painful as he started to hear voices. He grabbed his head trying to ease the pain. Everyone started to worry and were going to help him until the doctor stopped them. Naruto-kun. My name is Naruto Uzumaki, the next Hokage, believe it. To remember, my name is Naruto Uzumaki. Is your name Naruto? Asked the doctor looking at him curiously. Yes. Confirmed. Naruto tried to ease throbbing pain in his head before letting go of his head. Do you perhaps remember anything about yourself, Mr. Naruto? No. Well, at least we were able to get a name. The doctor stated as he looked down at the charts. Would you like to meet the people that saved you, Naruto? Yes, please. The doctor opened the door. Ladies, you may come in now, he's awake. Said the doctor ushering in the girls. They all came up to his bed with Ditzy handing him a small basket of muffin with a get well card on top of them. I would like to give my sincerest thanks for saving my life. Said Naruto smiling at them. I would like to know the names of my saviors. It's no problem, partner, my name is Applejack Apple, the blonde girl stated as she grasped his, shaking it back forth, his head bobbing like a bobblehead. My name is Rainbow Dash Highriser, the greatest and fastest flyer in all of Equestria. The rainbow-headed girl said proudly as she gave him a quick thumbs up, with Applejack rolling her eyes at her proclamation, which didn't go unnoticed by Rainbow Dash. Do you have something to say, Applejack? She asked, giving her a look, daring Applejack to say something. Nothing Rainbow, it just is getting a mite tiring hearing you yapping the same thing every day. She said with a smirk riling up Rainbow Dash just as she was going to argue with Applejack, Ditzy interrupted her. Hi, my name is Ditzy Doo, and here is a get well muffin for you, I hope you like chocolate. Said Ditzy as she gave him the muffin. Thanks for the muffin Ms. Doo. Naruto said giving her a smile as he began to eat the muffin. After taking a small bite, Naruto couldn't help but start to gobble down the muffin. It tastes awesome, I hope I could get more muffins from you, Ms. Doo. Thank you and please, just call me Ditzy. She said out happy that another person likes her muffins. Okay Ditzy. Fluttershy stepped forward gaining Naruto's attention. I know I already told you my name but I still would like to introduce myself properly. She began clearing her throat gaining everyone's attention. Hello my name is Fluttershy Featherheart. Well since we got the introductions out of the way, we can now get back to business. Said the doctor as he gave the nurse his clipboard. Well Mr. Naruto since you seem perfectly healthy besides a little soreness, you may leave whenever you want. But where would I go? Naruto asked as the question hung in the air. Ah yes, I forgot about your amnesia for a second. The doctor said as he glanced out the window. Well since we don't know where you're from or who your family are, you don't really have any options on where to go. You can stay with me for the time being. Said Applejack speaking up. I'm sure we have a spare room for you back at the house. Well that settles it then I'll go get the paperwork ready to check him out. The doctor as he started to walking to the door. May you come with me, Mr. Naruto? I'm going to need you to sign some things. Naruto got up yanking the blanket off him, just when he was going to follow the doctor, he heard Fluttershy and Ditzy give a loud eep. He turned to them wondering what happened and saw the girls blushing. Ditzy and Fluttershy were covering her eyes, with Ditzy taking a small peek between her fingers. Applejack was looking anywhere but him, while they sometimes came back to him. Rainbow Dash didn't bother looking away as started checking out his body, with her eyes wandering a little down south before a bit of blood started coming out of her nose. Just as he was about to ask them what wrong he felt a lot colder than before, he looked down, he saw he was naked as the day he was born. He covered himself back up with his blanket. Doc I going need some cloths. Telling the doctor feeling his face heat up from his blunder. I knew I forgot something. Said the doctor noticing the state Naruto is in now, as well as the girls. Naruto and the girls left the hospital after solving the issue of Naruto clothing problem and all of them calming down. The hospital was kind enough to offer him some male scrubs outfit for him wear until he had his own set of cloths to wear. The doctor just asked that they return the clothes when he was finished with them. So where are we going? Asked Naruto after a couple minutes of walking out of the hospital. Well for one thing we need to get you out of that silly outfit and into some regular looking clothes. Said Applejack as she motioned to Naruto attire. Yeah those clothes makes you look totally dumb. Said Rainbow Dash. A friend makes cloths all of the time, even if they are frou-frou. Hopefully she can make you something to wear, but nothing too fancy. Said Applejack a word of warning though, she can be very dramatic. And very picky. Said Ditzy adding her 2 cents into the topic. But she's really nice. Said Fluttershy trying to put the girl in a positive light. We're here. Rainbow Dash said flying up to the entrance of the store. Naruto checked the house out and was awed by the sheer look of it. It looked to be a 2-story house which was painted purple, blue, yellow and white. It sorta looked like a mini-sized castle. The first floor it had 2 big windows that showed some mannequin wearing beautiful dresses and the occasional. On top of the door there was a sign that read Carousel Boutique. Wow this place looks so started to say Naruto. Flashy. Said Applejack. Stupid. Said Rainbow Dash. I was going to say clean. Said Naruto as they started to walk into the store. They stepped inside they saw a woman busy working on a dress. If there was one word to describe this woman in Naruto's mind that would be elegant. She had long indigo hair with one big curl in the front as well as a few reaching her lower back and light fair skin. She had dark blue eyes in deep concentration that were covered by stylish red glasses. She was wearing a white dress shirt with a black dress pants and a pair of black high heels. Then Naruto was shocked, the items all around began to be covered in a blue glow, which lifted them into the air. It looked like she was controlling each and every one of them, if the blue glow on her hand were any indication. Hey there Rarity, come meet a new friend of ours. Said Applejack as she ducked from a piece of fabric passing her way. I'm a little busy right now Applejack. Said Rarity still working on the dress, her eyes glancing at the fabric in front of her as it was placed neatly into a pile. Come on Rarity, stop working on that dumb dress and come over here to meet the new guy. Rainbow Dash yelled, getting an exaggerated sigh from Rarity, who simply started to put everything away. Fine then what is so important that you find the need to stop me from finishing this dress? Rarity said turning around to look at them, her eyes landed on Naruto. She couldn't help but give him a full body look. "Darling, you are absolutely handsome," said Rarity, causing Naruto to blush a little bit as she walked closer to him. "My name is Rarity Relure." Thank you, and my name is Naruto Uzumaki, nice to meet you," Naruto said while scratching the back of his head. "I have never seen this shade of blonde before, it would feel like looking at the sun, and it really complements your skin tone perfectly. Those whisk marks on your cheeks makes you seem so exotic. Are by any chance a model?" "No," Naruto said while scratching the back of his head, "I think." "Well, how would you like to be a model of mine?" When Rarity finally saw what he was wearing. "Why are you wearing those dreadful things? Someone as handsome as you shouldn't be wearing those tacky clothes," said Rarity with disdain. "Yeah, and we were wondering if you'd were willing to make him some new duds to wear around town." Applejack smiled as Rarity looked at her. "By duds you mean new clothes, then no," said Rarity, surprising the girls. "Don't get me wrong, I would be more than happy to create some stylish clothes for him, but I'm really low on supplies to create any new styles of clothes, and the ones I'm using right now are needed for an order. So unless you have some extra materials with you, you will have to wait until next week." "It's fine, I can wear this for a little while until then," said Naruto as he looked down at his clothes. "Don't worry, you can wear some of my brother's old clothes. I think I can find something that can fit you," Applejack said, walking next to Naruto. "It would be better than what you are wearing now. So it will have to do for now until I can make something better for you," said Rarity, walking to him. As Naruto was about to say thank you until his stomach gave a loud growl. Everyone looked at him, who blushed and gave off a nervous chuckle. "Seems someone's hungry, ain't you, buddy? We'll be getting this fella here some grub down over at Sugarcube Corner," Applejack said, giving Naruto a playful nudge. "Wanna come along with us, Rarity?" "Sorry ladies and gentlemen, but I must finish this order by today, maybe I see you all later," said Rarity as she went back to the dress she was working on, summoning some fabrics. "Well, let's go then, when she's like this nothing will get her attention until she is finished and ready to show it off," Ditzy said as she started to walk out the door. "Yeah, let's go get some grub, I'm starving," Rainbow Dash said as she and the rest started to follow Ditzy out the door as well, leaving Rarity by her work. You guys," started Naruto as they were walking to Sugarcube Corner. "Yeah?" said Applejack. "What was that thing Rarity was doing when we first went into the store and when we were leaving?" Naruto looked at Fluttershy and Rainbow Dash and then towards Applejack. "And some of you have wings too and Applejack and Rarity don't, how come?" "Wow, you really do have amnesia," said Rainbow Dash, looking at him, unbelievable look. "Don't be too hard on him, Rainbow, he barely remembers his past, so not that surprising that he forgot about this kind of things as well," said Applejack as she started to give an explanation. There are 3 common types of people all over in Equestria. There are the Earthians, which I am, that are in tune with the earth and have immense strength." "Really?" asked Naruto. "Yep, just watch," said Applejack as she walked up to a tree, she cocked her fist back and hit the tree. What happened next shocked Naruto. The tree started to fall back until it completely came right out of the ground. "See?" said Applejack with a cocky smirk. Naruto just nodded as he was still shocked from what he saw. He snapped out of it when Rainbow Dash hit him in the back of the head. "Anyway," started Applejack, "there's the angels, which Rainbow Dash, Ditzy and Fluttershy are, who have wings, they can control the sky and have speed. But I'm the fastest that ever lived," said Rainbow Dash confidently. Yes, Rainbow Dash, we heard all before," said Ditzy. Rainbow Dash got tick, but she just pouted. "And finally there are the sorcerers, which Rarity is, they have the power to harness magic and use to do a lot of cool dudes with it." "But how do you tell which is which?" "I mean, Rarity looked just like a Earthian." "That's easy, the way you can tell the difference is that sorcerer have a gem in the middle of their chest where they harness their power from," said Rainbow Dash, stepping into the conversation. You forgot one more," said Fluttershy, finally speaking up. "Really, who did we forget?" asked Applejack, looking at her. "Princess Celestia," she said simply. "Oh yeah, I forgot about her." "Who is Princess Celestia?" asked Naruto. "Well, she is the ruler of all of Equestria and she also raises the sun and the moon. She is an archangel, she has magic strength and wings of all the races I told you about as well as some other ones as well, her type are considered to be rarest of them all. And she is really kind ruler and person as well," said Fluttershy. "Yep, no one can replace her. Anyway, that is all the ones I know. If you want to learn more about the other races, you can go over at the library to check them out." "Hey guys, we're here," said Rainbow Dash. Naruto checked the house and couldn't help but feel more hungry by looking at it. The house looked like a giant gingerbread house. It seemed to be a 2-story house that had a stand-up sign that had said Sugarcube Corner with pink letters and some balloons all around it. Naruto was about to go inside until he was stopped by Applejack. "Here is another word of warning, partner, our friend that you are about to meet is nice and all, but she can be a bit overwhelming." "Don't worry, I think I'll be able to handle it," said Naruto as he went inside the store. Well, if you say so. Said Applejack quietly to herself as she and the rest walked inside with him. When Naruto stepped inside of the store, he was amazed by the pastries that was around it. He couldn't but help drool from the combined smell of all the food. He walked to the counter just as he was about to hit the bell. A girl popped out from behind the counter from what seemed out of nowhere. Naruto couldn't help but give a startled jump. "Hello there, oh my gosh, you're new here, aren't ya?" the girl said excitedly. After calming down, Naruto got a better look at the excitable girl. She had pink puffy curly hair that reached below her shoulder and dark blue eyes. She had light skin and had a small star on the right side of her face under her eye. She was wearing pink plaited infinity scarf. She had a pink spaghetti strap top with long sleeves, with a pink skirt and a pair of long-sleeve pink striped socks that reached to her kneecaps, and to top it all off a pair of pink high-top sneakers. "Yeah, I'm new here," Naruto replied quickly, regaining his composure. "Oh my gosh, I knew it, I know every person in Appleville, and I mean every person. The only way I wouldn't know who you are would mean that you're new here, and then that means that you're lonely, and if you're lonely, then you want a friend, and if you want a friend, then I should throw you a party so you can make lots of friends and welcome you to Appleville," Pinky said as started getting right into Naruto's face. I guess that's what they meant by overwhelming. Naruto thought as he was amazed she was able to talk this long without taking a single breath. Whoa there, Pinkie Pie, he already has some friends, no need to go to all that trouble. Applejack said as she pulled Pinkie Pie away from Naruto so she wouldn't scare him away. Really? That's great, want to be friends with me as well? Pinkie Pie asked excitedly. Yes sure, Naruto said, a little overwhelmed by her personality. Yay. Pinkie Pie shouted as she gave Naruto a tight hug, cracking his back a bit. My name is Pinkamena Diane Pie, but everyone calls me Pinkie Pie, she said, letting him go. Okay Pinkie Pie, Naruto said. I still think we should throw a party for him to welcome him to Appleville, she said, eyeing him a bit. Oh sure, that's fine, you can do it over at the barn since he is going to be living at my house for a bit, said Applejack. Okay said Pinkie Pie, so you guys want to get something to eat? Yeah, we're starving, especially this guy over here, said Rainbow Dash, nudging Naruto in his side, causing him to smile. What would you girls like to eat? Pinkie Pie asked as she took out a notepad from what seemed to be thin air. I would like a slice of vanilla cheesecake with jasmine tea, said Fluttershy. Okay. Pinkie Pie said as she started to scribble down on the notepad. I would like a batch of blueberry muffins with a glass of orange juice, Ditsy said, feeling her mouth water at the thought of muffins. Okay, and here is a napkin. Pinkie Pie replied as she handed a napkin to Ditsy, who blushed being caught drooling. Give me 3 red velvet cupcakes with some cran raspberry juice, said Rainbow Dash. Okay Dashy. I would like some apple fritters and some apple juice, Applejack said as her gaze turned towards Naruto. So Naruto, what would you like? I'll just have what she's having, said Naruto. Okie dokie, the food will be ready in 5 minutes, why don't you 4 grab a seat while I start your order, Pinkie Pie said as she went into the back kitchen. So Naruto, what do you plan to do now since you don't remember what you used to do? Asked Rainbow Dash. Well, I'm not really sure, Naruto said as he started to put some thought into it. Well, first things first, I need to find a job, I don't want to freeload off of Applejack hospitality, then after that I'm not really sure what to do. Well, you could work on the farm, but I gotta check if you're suited for the job, we can start tomorrow if you would like, Applejack offered. Really? Thanks Applejack, said Naruto. Don't get you hopes up too high, I still got to check if you have the skills for it, can't hire a farmhand that can't work on a farm. But still, thank you. Here you go. Pinkie Pie sang aloud with a sing-song voice, her hands bringing tray of foods with her as she started to pass them out. Mighty thanks Pinkie Pie, said Applejack. Thank you Pinkie, said Ditsy as she started to eat her muffins. Thank you, said Fluttershy as taking small bites out of her cake. Everyone gave a small thanks before they started to eat their dessert. What are you guys going to do next after you're done? Said Pinkie Pie as sitting right next to Naruto, seeing as the shop was all but empty, she decided hang with her friends. Well, started Applejack, finishing her 3rd apple fritter. After we're finished getting eating, we're going to show Naruto here around town, try to get him used to lay out of the town, since he might be staying here for a while. Really, can I come with you guys? Asked Pinkie Pie. Didn't you say you were going make a party for this guy? Rainbow Dash replied, finishing the last of her cupcakes. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot, said Pinkie Pie, a loud gasp. You're right, that is more important. Giving a dramatic pose, making a few chuckle at her antics before they went back to eating in silence. Break. When the girls and Naruto left the shop, Pinkie Pie skipped off to Applejack home to get the party started while the others went to show Naruto around the town. They took him to town hall, which also happened to be town square. Then they took him to the shopping market. They visited the park where he saw a lot of kids playing and animals grazing without a care for the world. Naruto for some reason couldn't help but feel something when he saw the little kids play sadness. That is what he felt. He felt sadness seeing the children laughing and having fun. "Naruto, are you okay?" asked Fluttershy, noticing his frown. Naruto snapped out of whatever funk he was in upon hearing Fluttershy's worried voice. "Yes, I'm fine, I just zoned out for a bit, that's all," said Naruto, giving her a smile. As they left the park they noticed that it was already past noon. "Let's go check if Rarity wants to come to Pinky's party," said Applejack as she and the rest of the gang went back to Rarity's shop home. "Hopefully she finished her dress on time," said Fluttershy. "Hey Rarity, are you still here?" yelled Rainbow Dash. Yes, I'm here, what is it that you want this time?" asked coming down the stairs. "We were wondering if you wanted to come to Pinkie Pie's party, if you want to," said Fluttershy. "What's the party about this time?" asked Rarity. "Well, Pinkie Pie is throwing a party for Naruto to welcome him to town," said Ditzy. "Well then we shouldn't keep her waiting now, should we? Let's go," said Rarity as she and the rest left her home shop. It was already dark by the time they reached Applejack Farm. Naruto couldn't help but be amazed on how big the farm was. All he can see was apple trees as far as his eyes could see. "Man, that is a lot of apple trees," said Naruto, still amazed by the sheer size of the place. "Biggest and bestest apple orchard in all of Equestria," said Applejack with pride in her voice. Yes, let's go to the party, they must have started without us by now," Ditzy said as they walked to the barn. When they opened the door they saw it was complete dark inside and dead silent. "Pinkie Pie did say the party was today, right?" asked Rainbow Dash as she looked on into the dark barn. "Maybe she changed her mind," said Naruto. Just as he finished that sentence the lights turned, heard a loud scream of surprise before countless people all jumped out of haystacks and carts. There was streamers and flags hanging from the banister. A table full of snacks and beverages sitting on two large tables. There was a DJ station there as well playing the music, but the musician wasn't there. "Surprise. Welcome to Appleville," screamed Pinkie Pie, surprising Naruto as she just popped out of nowhere right beside him as she was wearing a party hat and was blowing a party flute right next to his head, and she had person next to her as well. "Do you like the party?" "Yeah, I love it, thank you Pinkie Pie," said Naruto, giving her a quick hug which she returned eagerly. "You are very welcome," said Pinkie Pie as she let go of him and gave a thumbs to him before she dragged him to a blue-haired girl. "Come meet a good friend of mine, her name is Vinyl Scratch, but people mostly known by her coolio name, DJ Pawn 3, she is always able to give me the best jams for my parties." "It's no problem Pinkie, always happy to help, one of my best buds," said the girl as she pushed her glasses showing her magenta eyes. She had front spiked short cobalt blue hair with brilliant cyan stripes in her hair. She has a pair of black gloves with black elbow guards and headphones around her neck. She has dark gray t-shirt and black short skirt. She has a pair of blue and purple shoes with cyan striped long sleeve socks. "By the way, where is Octi and Grumps?" "Grumpy is at the shop, keeping an eye on things, and Octi is at some snooty concert right now and won't be back until later tonight." "So you're the guy that we're throwing the party," said Vinyl looking at Naruto taking his figure. "Gotta say you're a lot better looking than the what Pinkie had described you, Vinyl Scratch by the way," she said as she extended her hand which Naruto took. Naruto Uzumaki, huh. Cool name," she said as she let go of his hand. "We should hang out later so you can meet a friend of mine, she a bit uptight, but she is a great friend." She put her glasses back on. "Anyway I better go, someone has to keep the music pumping," she said as she started to walk away from him and back to the DJ booth. "Well I better go talk to Granny Smith about you settling at our house," said Applejack. She started to walk back to her house. "I'll be back later, so start the party without me." "Well let's get this party started," said Pinkie Pie as she started to drag Naruto and the girls to the center of the party where everyone was dancing. It will be a long night before anyone got any sleep. Naruto was sleeping happily in his comfy bed after a night of partying with his friends. He got to know them a little better and met new people. Applejack and he went back to the house to get some much needed rest. She showed him to the guest room where he would be staying and told him get some sleep since they would have to wake up early for work. "Hey, it's time to wake up," screamed a young girl's voice. Naruto was about to get up and tell her to be quiet when he felt something or someone land on his stomach. He opened his eyes to see what landed on him. It was little girl that was sitting on him. She had long red hair that was fashioned in a ponytail, tied with a big red bow and light orange eyes. She wore a yellow t-shirt with blue overalls and a pair of red sneakers. "5 more minutes, the sun hasn't come up yet," whined Naruto, covering his head with the pillow. "No can do, big sis told me to tell you that it's time for you to work," she lectured as she reached over and pulled off his blanket off of him. Fine, just get off of me please," he said as she got off his stomach. "By the way, who are you anyway?" he asked while stretched. "The name is Applebloom mister, what's your name?" she asked looking at him curiously. "My name is Naruto Uzumaki," he said with yawn. "I'll be downstairs in a while, just got to change," he said, waiting for her to leave. "Okay Mr. Naruto," said Applebloom, running out of the room. Naruto got out of bed and walked over to the closet to get his clothes. While Naruto walked downstairs he could smell the delicious food coming from the kitchen. He walked into the kitchen where he saw an old lady, Applejack and a young man setting the table. The old lady's white hair was tied in a bun. Her eyes were light green and she had light pale skin. She was about 5'1", wearing a pleated skirt, a green shirt with white blanket over her shoulders and a pair of sandals. The young man on the other hand was big, at least an inch taller than him. He had a physique of a hard worker. His dirty blonde hair shone along with his medium green eyes. He has dark tan skin and some freckles with a small stubble. He wore a red pleated shirt with jean pants and brown cowboy shoes. "Well hi there young fella, how did you sleep?" asked the old lady. "My name's Granny Smith." She gave him a good look. "My, aren't you a handsome young fella?" She gave a sigh, pinching his cheek. "If only I was a youngin again." Naruto felt a little embarrassed by the compliment, but Applejack helped him. "Come on Granny, stop embarrassing the new help," said as she and her went into the kitchen to get the food. Naruto went and sat right next to the young man after the two left. "Hey Mr. Naruto, meet my big brother, Macintosh," said Applebloom as she sat across from them, introducing the young man. "Hey, my name is Naruto," said Naruto, giving him a small wave. "Hi. So you work at Sweet Apple Acres as well?" "Yep. So is it fun working at Sweet Apple Acres?" "Yep. You're a man of few words, aren't you?" "Yep. Want to be friends?" "Sure." Sweet. Just as he said that, Applejack and Granny Smith came back with a tray of pancakes, some apple fritters and a big glass of apple juice. "Eat up everyone," said Applejack, taking a seat and grabbing some apple fritters. Everyone began to eat. Just as Naruto was about to get pancake, Applebloom noticed something about him. "Oh my gosh!" screamed Applebloom, surprising everyone around the table. "You don't have a cutie mark." "A cutie what now?" said Naruto, giving her a questioning look. "A cutie mark," she cried out again. "What is that?" asked Naruto, getting shocked look from Applebloom. The grown-ups already knew why he didn't know about cutie marks, but they were still surprised that he didn't have one though. "Well Naruto, this is what a cutie mark looks like," said Applejack as she took one of her gloves and showed Naruto the palm of her hand. Naruto looked and saw that it had 3 red apples on it. A cutie mark is a special symbol that show up on the palms of the hands. It shows up when the person had found their calling in life. It makes them unique and different from everyone else. "So do they show up anywhere else?" he asked as kept looking at her cutie mark. "No, they only show up on your hand," she said, putting her glove back and started to eat. "Haha, image if it showed up on your butt cheek," said Applebloom, giggling at the very thought of it showing up there of all places. "Yeah, that would be weird, having your special talent show up on your rump," said Naruto, chuckling about it as well. "But I don't really care where it shows up, as long as I finally get my soon," she said with determination in her eyes. "Now Applebloom, how many times do I need to tell you, you need to be patient," said Granny Smith, giving her a smile, happy about Applebloom's enthusiasm. "But I want it now," whined Applebloom, looking at her hand sadly. "You'll get yours, just wait," said Applejack, patting her little sister on the head. "So Naruto, ready, get to work," said Applejack, then she frowned a bit. "I don't want any slackers working on the farm, so if I catch you slacking off your duties you're out of here, got it?" "Yes, ma'am." "Good." When finally finished with breakfast, Macintosh took Applebloom to school while Granny went to take nap, leaving Applejack to take Naruto out on the field to teach him on what he has to do for his job. "So Naruto, what do you think about harvesting apples?" asked Applejack as she and Naruto walked up on one of the apple trees while Naruto was carrying some baskets. "That it might be an easy job." "Well then guess what, it's not," she said, gaining frown, then looked out at all of the trees that is on her family's farm. "It's a lot of hard work, especially when you have as many trees as my family do." "You got that right," muttered Naruto as he was still amazed by all of the apple trees they had. "So you want me to pick all of the apples?" "Well, you could do that, but it will take too long. Try to do it this way." She walked up to the tree, put the baskets around the tree. Naruto. He did what he was told. "Now stand back." She reared fist back and gave it a punch. The tree gave small shake, but instead of falling like before, all of the apples on the tree had fallen instead and perfectly inside the baskets. Naruto was again shocked and amazed by this display. Impressive. Applejack blushed by the praise she was receiving. "Oh shucks, it was nothing. Anyway, try to get all of the apples in the basket when you hit the tree. To do it, you have to make sure you hit certain spots on the tree and how much strength you put into it. Now give it a try." Naruto went up to the tree. He punched the tree as hard as he could. What happened next they did not see coming. When his fist made contact with the tree, the top half of the tree was literally ripped off, went sailing right across the farm and into the everfree forest. Applejack was completely and utterly shocked by what she just witnessed. Part of her wanted to deny on what she just saw and that a stray lightning cloud hit the tree and took it. Even Naruto was shocked at what he had done as well. Did I do that? Said Naruto as he kept staring at where the tree flew off, then he got a panicked look as started to bow repeatedly to Applejack. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry Applejack, I didn't mean to destroy one of your trees. Applejack was finally able to snap out of her shock. It's fine Naruto, I know it was an accident, you didn't mean it she said, calming down Naruto. Anyway Naruto, I have never seen some have that much strength before, maybe you should just pick the apples until we help you control your strength said Applejack. I'm sure he said as he climbed one of the trees to pick the apples, leaving Applejack to her thoughts. I have never seen someone with so much strength. Macintosh was considered the strongest one in town, but Naruto pretty much blew him out of the water in that department. She just stared at Naruto as he finished picking all of the apples off the tree. Naruto, who or what are you? Hey Naruto is quitting time, yelled Applejack as she walked to where Naruto. Applejack had to admit that Naruto was a hard worker, even more than her. He was able to pick enough apples to fill up at least 100 baskets, which were pretty good, considering that he was doing it all by hand. Got it boss said Naruto as finished picking the last apples from the tree he was on, showing no sign of him be tired at all. Naruto walked to where Applejack was. So how did I do on the first day on the job? You did great Naruto, you're hired. Really? Awesome said Naruto giving a whoop with joy. Can you come and help me get the cart out from the barn? Sure. After they got the cart out of the barn, Applejack took Naruto to town with her. She told him he can do whatever he want for a little since he was still on his break. So pretty much, Naruto just walked around town doing nothing until he heard someone calling out his name. Hey Naruto he turned around and saw a familiar blue-haired DJ. She was still wearing the same outfit from yesterday. What is up man? She said with grin, giving Naruto a high five. Naruto returned the high five. Hey Vinyl, how's it going? Nothing much, just coming back from lunch she said lifting a bag of takeout anyway that was some party last night, huh? Yeah Pinkie Pie really knows how to throw a party he said and nothing much, just walking around, checking out the place. Really? Want to come with me to my store? You get to finally meet my roommate she offered. Sure got nothing else to do. Cool, let's go. When they got to Vinyl store, Naruto thought the place looked cool. It was a medium-sized building, painted dark cyan blue with dark purple waves on the left side with the lyrics in the waves. On the other side there was a window that showed a few instruments, surrounded by a splash dark purple. On the top of the store was a record with a scratch on the right side with words on it that said scratch music. Cool place commented Naruto, his eyes wandered all over in fascination. Thanks she said as she opened the door. Yo Octi, I'm back and you got to meet a new friend of mine yelled Vinyl and I also brought you your lunch. Naruto and her step inside where a young lady was seated behind the counter. Just like Rarity she had seemed to have an air of elegance about her. She had black hair that reached her to her lower back, dark pink eyes with a hard gaze. She had flawless tan skin with a heart-shaped face. She was wearing a white blouse with a black vest over it and gray-brown dress pants. How many times do I have to tell you to stop calling me that, Vinyl? Oh come on Octi, it's a good nickname and I know you like it she said as she went into the back, behind the counter, before giving her lunch anyway, come meet my new friend, Naruto Uzumaki. Hello said Naruto, giving a small wave at her. Yes, hello she said as she put down her tray and gave a small cough clearing her throat. My name is Octavia, I am Vinyl's roommate, it is nice to meet you extending her hand, which Naruto shook. What did I tell you, uptight said Vinyl ignoring the annoyed glare that Octavia was boring into the back of her head. You better have got the right order this time she grumbled letting the comment go for now as she was opening her tray to check the food. Yeah I got the right order waving dismissively at Octavia, heading to the back of the room, leaving Naruto and Octavia by themselves. So started Octavia breaking the silence in the room. How did you and Vinyl meet Naruto? We met at a party that Pinkie Pie threw to welcome me into town he said as he started to look around the store at the various items. Really Octavia said as she started to eat her food. Sorry, I couldn't be there, I just came back last night from playing at a concert in Canterlot. That's okay said Naruto, leaning on the counter. So what do you play? I play classical music and the cello. Just when they were going to talk more, Vinyl came back carrying 2 Cokes and a water bottle. She threw one at Naruto who caught it easily and handed one to Octavia, who gave her a small thank you. So Naruto what have you been up to? Asked Vinyl, taking a seat next to Octavia propping her feet on the counter but put them back down when Octavia was glaring at her. Well I started to work on Applejack's farm and I met her family, they were really friendly said Naruto. Yeah, they really are good people said Vinyl sipping her Coke. So Naruto what is Applejack making you do? Asked Octavia as she threw her food into the trash. She made me pick apples he said, taking a sip from his Coke. Oh so you bucking apples? Asked Vinyl. Bucking apples? He asked confusingly. Yeah, you know when you hit the tree and all of the apples fall into the bucket. Oh yeah, said Naruto, finally realizing what she mean, but then had sheepish smile. I did do that the first time, then she just made me pick the apples by hand. Why? Asked Vinyl, a little curious. Octavia looked a little curious as well. Well, I sort of accidentally sent one of the trees into the forest, he said as he scratching his head. Vinyl and Octavia sat there in silent surprise on exactly on what they heard. You're joking, right? As she was the first one to break the silence, Naruto just shook his head. That's insane. She screamed and started to laugh out loud, like she just heard the funny joke, surprising Naruto by her reaction and snapping Octavia out of her shock. Man, I bet the look on Applejack's face was priceless when you sent one of her trees flying. In fact, I wish was there to see it happen. It would have been more funny. She laughed again. Hey Naruto, wanna hear a funny story? Sure. Well, when me and Octavia went on vacation, she was interrupted by Octavia covered her mouth. She had blush on her face, glaring daggers at Vinyl, who started to sweat a bit from it. We agreed to never speak of that incident ever again, she hissed. We did? Vinyl asked. Yes, she said simply, and then she turned back to Naruto, who was looking at them strangely. So anyway Naruto, what kind of hobbies do you have? I don't have any, he said as he got in a thinking pose before shrugged his shoulders. At least I don't think so. Do you want to try to play some music? Who knows, maybe that's one of your hobbies, suggested Vinyl. Sure, why not? Okay, said Vinyl as she brought Naruto to the case that was holding the instruments and showed him all of them. So what kind of instruments do you want to learn? Naruto looked through all of them and stared at the guitars. Can I try learning that one? He said as he pointed at one of them. Sure, which do you want to use, acoustic or electric? She said, holding each one. I'll go with acoustic, don't want to make too much of a racket at Applejack's home, he said as Vinyl handed him the acoustic guitar. So where do we start? He asked. Oh sorry man, I'm not the one that is going to teach you, I only know how to use the DJ and on occasions, the drums as well. Naruto turned to look at Octavia, wondering if she is going to teach him. I'm sorry to say, but I only teach about instruments, she told him when she noticed him looking at her. Then who is going to teach me how to use this? Don't worry, he is in the back sleeping, I'll go get him, said Vinyl as she went into the back room. Naruto hears some small talk and a low groan. Vinyl came out soon after along with a short young man, maybe near his 20s, 5'4" or 5'3". He had shaggy black hair with dark brown eyes with dark circles under them. He had uneven tan skin, some part of him was light, other parts were pale. He was wearing a plain black shirt, black baggy pants with a pair of black strapped sandals. So you're the one who wants to learn how to play guitar, right? He droned out groggily as he was still waking up from his sleep. Yeah. The young man stared at him for a few seconds with a blank look. Naruto was starting to feel nervous from the look he was receiving. Okay, fine, let me go get my stuff, he finally said with a huff and went back into the back room. Naruto released a breath. He didn't know he was holding. Sorry about his attitude, he's always so grumpy when he wakes up from his sleep, but he is really nice guy, once you get to know him, apologized Vinyl with sheepish smile. It's fine, not everyone can be a morning person. The young man finally came back carrying a black acoustic guitar and 2 stools. Okay then let's get started, he said, handing Naruto a stool. Thank you. What your name? He asked, scratch his head in embarrassment for not asking his name sooner. Shigiya, he said simply. Yours? Naruto Uzumaki. Shigiya had been teaching Naruto how to play the guitar for a while. At first Naruto had no idea what the hell he was doing at first. He kept pulling the wrong note, he kept putting his fingers on the wrong place, and one time, he pulled the string too hard that he ripped the cord. But after a while, under Shigiya teaching, he was able to finally get the hang of it. Now you're getting it, said Vinyl as she and Octavia watched them play a tune together. Octavia stood up to leave and gave them a small goodbye. Naruto didn't notice her leaving as he was too focused on his lessons. Yeah, sure, said Naruto as he tried to keep up with Shigiya. As they were playing for a while, Naruto was focusing on hitting the right notes. You're really getting into it, commented Vinyl, noticing how determined Naruto was on playing the guitar. She stopped playing the tune, which prompted Naruto to stop as well. You keep on playing, I'll be right back, just need to go get something, she said as she went to the back of the room. Naruto just nodded, went back to what he was, but just as he was going to start another tune, he heard the bell from the ring. Hey Naruto, been looking for you all over the place, didn't expect you to be here though, said Applejack as she looked all of the stuff in the store before landing her eyes onto him. I met up with Vinyl when I was walking around town and she invited me over, he told her, placing down the guitar onto the counter. And the guitar? She asked, looking at the guitar. Vinyl offered to teach me how to play it and Shigiya taught me how to play it. Oh, that was nice of them, but who is Shigiya? That's me, said Shigiya appearing behind Naruto, giving her a small wave. Hi there, nice to meet you, offering him a handshake. Shigiya looked at for a while before finally taking it. Well, now that everyone, commented Vinyl, finally coming out from carrying something in her hand. So Applejack, how's it hanging? Pretty good, just teaching the new guy how to the work, replied Applejack. As the girls were talking, Naruto went to put the guitar back onto its rack but was stopped by Vinyl. She handed him the item that she had brought out. It was black guitar bag. Naruto looked at the bag confused and looked back at Vinyl, wondering what it was for. What are staring at me for? Put your guitar in the bag and get going, you have work, said Vinyl, handing him the bag and walked back to her counter. My guitar? Asked Naruto, a little confused at what she was implying. What are you, deaf? Joked Vinyl, who had a big grin on her face. Yeah, at yours, dude, I'm giving it to you. But why? Asked Naruto, feeling a bit unsure about the gift he was receiving. You have potential with it, got a better hang of it, you're faster than most people that I taught, and you're a good friend as well, answered Shigiya, looking at Naruto as he started to put the guitar in the bag. And who knows, maybe you and I could make some good music together if you practice some more. Thanks Vinyl, Shigiya, said Naruto, happily getting a new guitar. How can I ever repay you too? Don't worry about, said Vinyl. Yeah, man, it's fine, said Shigiya as well. No, really, I want to repay you for this. I don't have any money to pay you back right now, but I can do whatever you want me to do. Well, when you say like that, said Vinyl as she rubbed her chin, complicating on what to do with this kind of turn of events. How about you just owe me a couple of favors? How does that sound? Yeah, sure, Vinyl, said Naruto as he hoisted his guitar onto his back. And remember to come back sometime for more lesson, but don't come too early though, said Shigiya. Come on Naruto, we're already late for Granny Smith dinner, let's go, said Applejack impotently, grabbing his hand. See you later Vinyl, Shigiya. See you guys, said Vinyl as she and Shigiya waved them goodbye. Naruto and Applejack were walked back to the farm. Naruto was dragging the cart back while Applejack carried his guitar. So what made you want to play guitar, Naruto? Asked Applejack, adjusting the guitar a bit, make it more comfortable to carry. Well, Vinyl just offered to teach how to play, I just thought why not. Did you enjoy playing? Yeah, it was kind of fun, might start playing more often, I hope you don't mind the noise. Nah, as long you don't cause too much of a racket it's fine. Do you plan to make your own music? Maybe, but first I need to learn how to play it. Well, I can't wait to hear what kind of music you make. Yeah. Naruto and Applejack walked in silence back to the farm and Naruto's new home. Naruto couldn't help but wonder what was in store for him in the future. Naruto had awoken as he felt something wet fall on his face. He searched around his surroundings, noticing that he was outside. Where am I? Didn't I fall asleep in my bed? He said to himself as it started to rain. He wiped his face off, trying to get rid of the droplets of water that had fallen on him, until he saw something strange with his hands. What the hell? Whispered Naruto as he saw his hands, they were see-through. He checked his body and saw it was also see-through. He got up from the ground and checked his environment. He saw he was in a forest and the sky was bleak with thunderstorms roaring out in the distance. He started to walk around the forest, trying to see if he could get his bearings. This place can't be the Everfree Forest. The trees are too different than the ones there, and it's not giving off that weird feeling I get whenever I'm in there as well. As Naruto started to walk further and further into the forest, he started to hear a distant noise. He felt the ground quake beneath his feet and the sound of a loud explosion echoed from the other direction. What's that? Naruto mumbled to himself, walking to where the noise was originating from. The closer he got, the louder noise seemed to get, to the point where he started to feel the ground shake. When he reached the source of the noise, he was shocked by what he saw in front of him. Corpses everywhere littered the grounds. Some were humans with their corpses burned or cut. While the others looked like white humanoid plant creatures with half or most of their bodies looked like they were melted or torn to shreds. The land that Naruto found them on was dismantled as there were craters everywhere with trees ripped off their roots on this barren land. In the distant Naruto saw flashes of lightning coming from the distance. The explosions coming closer, he saw two people clashing together. One was using a sword while the other was using a small knife-like weapon. The first man looked to be around his age, maybe a little bit younger. He had long spiky black hair that was styled backwards and light pale skin. He was wearing what used to be a white shirt but was tattered and full of holes. He had tight black pants with black open-toed sandals. The man was bleeding from his forehead as well as tears of blood coming from his eyes. His left arm was covered in lightning before it started to fade, but he was still able to stand strong as he glared scornfully at the person in front of him. The other person surprised Naruto because the one holding the knife washed him. He looked different though. His clothes looked like the ones he wore when he first arrived in Appleville, but he didn't look any better than the other guy. He had a few gashes and burn marks all over his body, but it looked like they were slowing healing. But what surprised Naruto was the look in his eyes. They were the same as the other person, except they seemed to be more intense and haunting. His sapphire eyes looked so cold, as if they were made of ice itself, as they held so much contempt and hatred for the man that was in front of him. How are you still standing? I'm an Uchiha, an elite. I am the strongest, my power should have destroyed you, you insignificant mongrel, said the man, breaking the silence. He struggled to stay standing as his hands started to glow with lightning before it faded again, causing the man to get frustrated. I tried so hard to forgive you, Sasuke. After everything you have done, we could have found a way to help you repent for the crimes you have committed. But what you have done to me, to her," said Naruto in a hollow tone that sent a cold shiver down Naruto's spine, and saw his hands clench to the point where his knuckles turned white and blood started to come out of his palms, is unforgivable, and that is why I am going to end your life, right here, right now. So you can't hurt anyone else ever again. Isn't the reason you are here is to get revenge, you fucking hypocrite?" asked the now named Sasuke, screaming the last part. Naruto just looked at him. Sasuke gave him a dark scowl hearing what Naruto just said, and what about my revenge? He yelled at him before running at him with newfound strength, preparing to cut him in half. Naruto blocked the attack before kicking him in the stomach, sending him back. He shakily stood up again, panting, trying to get air back in his lungs. "They took everything from me. My home," Sasuke said, taking some steps toward him, "my family, another step and my brother." He raised his sword to strike, but Naruto blocked it with his kunai before kicking him in the air. Naruto made two of clones of himself, which surprised Naruto, and they jumped in the air. Two of them grabbed Sasuke's arms, stopping him from moving or countering. The original Naruto made a small blue rotating ball and slammed it into Sasuke's chest. "Rasengan." Naruto heard him yell before he jumped back as he saw Sasuke coming down at his direction. Sasuke screamed as he felt the concentrated chakra trying to grind into his skin before he was sent down at full speed back to the ground. Naruto landed right in front of Sasuke. Sasuke gritted his teeth to keep himself from screaming as he felt the excruciating pain he was feeling. Naruto just stared at him before he started to release a large amount of chakra. It surrounded him before it started to change color, making it look he was being covered in golden flames, and it started to transform his body, giving him a golden cloak with a spiral on the back. His whisker marks become more pronounced, his hair received two hair-like horns on his head. Black swirls started to appear on his chest before various black lines start to appear around his body. His eyes, that were once icy blue, changed bloody red with ear eyes becoming slits. He brought his right arm up and two gold arms shot out from his arm and started to go in different directions around his hand. Little blue and red balls started to form out of thin air before they started to come at the center of his hand, creating a small black-purple ball, getting bigger and bigger until it was as big as the Rasengan. Naruto just stared down at Sasuke before giving him a sad smile. "You know, Sasuke, if she was here right now she would have told me that this wasn't who I was and that there was another way to save you." Then his smile turned into a frown, "But she isn't here, is she, thanks to you?" Naruto prepared to strike. "Goodbye, Sasuke." Naruto descended his attack onto him. "Naruto." "No." Naruto yelled, waking up and startling the person in his room. What happened? Are we under attack?" asked Shigiya, abruptly getting up from the floor with a knife in his hand in a defensive position and started to look around, seeing what the problem was. Naruto just looked at him for a little while before answering. "I regained some of my memories again." "Really?" Shigiya asked, putting his knife back in its sheath before hiding it back under his pillow and started to lay it back down in his sleeping bag and put the knife back under his pillow before giving a deep sigh. "Couldn't you have gotten your memories back when it was evening? At least people would have been awake then." "Well, sorry for waking you up from your beauty sleep," said Naruto sarcastically, causing Shigiya to flip him off. "I have no control over this, you know." Excuses. "Whatever." Naruto grunted at his reply. "Anyways, this one was more intense than the other ones," Naruto said as began to tell what he saw. "Damn man," was all Shigiya could say as he stared at the ceiling. "That's got to be the most kick-ass thing I have ever heard. Kind of wish I was there now." "Is that all you're having to say?" responded Naruto, giving him a deadpan look. "Yep." Shigiya simply said, looking at him. "What else do you want me to say?" Naruto just sighed. "Sometimes I wonder how we're still friends." "Well, I have nothing else to say other than suck it up, you killed someone, big whoop. I've known you for a while now and from what I learned, you're the type of person who cares deeply about your friends and will do anything to protect them." He gave a small grin. "Especially after that incident with the Timberwolves. Man, that was a good fight. Kind of wish those little bastards didn't sneak attack me, then I wouldn't have needed you to save my ass." Shigiya just sighed. "I still owe ya, you know." Naruto just smiled. "It's fine. You're one of my best friends, even if you're a bit of an ass." He grinned when Shigiya flipped him off, but he could tell he wasn't angry about it. He looked out of the window and saw the sky glow a bit. He may still have an hour left before it was time to start the morning chores. "But thanks, man." "No prob, man. There's something that's bugging me." "What?" "I wonder if your wife was hot," said Shigiya curiously as Naruto face planted. Does it really matter if she was hot? I just wish I could remember who she was. Well, I still bet that she was a really hot. Shigiya said before becoming depressed seeing as all the girls in town want to get into your pants, especially our friends. Naruto just gave a grunt. How many times do I have to tell you that they don't like me that way? Before he lay there. Shigiya just gave a sigh before going to sleep again, but not before saying one last thing. Whatever you say man, I see what I see. Before silence overtook them. Naruto had gotten up after the rooster had crowed to the first sight of the morning sun. Naruto had got up, walked around Shigiya's sleeping form, going into the bathroom to change. After he finished, he went downstairs to see Granny Smith, Big Mac, Applebloom and Applejack getting ready to make breakfast. "Hey y'all," said Naruto, greeting them. "Hey there Naruto," said Applejack greeting Naruto back. "I thought that you were going to sleep in after your little music fest out in the barn with Shigiya last night." Naruto had been wondering why Shigiya was in his room. He had come over to work on the music he was working on and to make sure he was practicing. Naruto has gotten better with his music skills. If Shigiya was asking him to help him finish the song for the summer sun celebration, he wanted to finish that song for the summer sun celebration. "He hasn't finished it yet?" she asked as she helped Granny Smith. "No. You know how that guy is, always likes putting things off till the last minute. Luckily, we were able to finish it last night, so it's all good. He is such procrastinator, he should have had finished that song on the first day he was told that he was going host the concert and that was like a month ago." Huffed Applejack as she brought out some eggs and some toast before she started to make some pancakes. "Yeah, he's still sleeping on the floor." Naruto brought out a pitcher of apple juice and placed it on the table. "Well go wake him up then or he is going to miss breakfast," said Applejack, still making the pancakes. "Sure." Naruto was about to go upstairs until he saw Winona sleeping under the sofa and got an idea. "Here Winona, come here girl," said Naruto, calling out to her, trying to get her attention. Winona started to wag her tail and ran up to Naruto, climbing up his leg. "Hey girl, I need you to do something for me," said Naruto giving her innocent smile, making her head tilt in confusion. Naruto walked back in the kitchen seeing Applejack finish making the pancakes. "So you woke him up?" Applejack asked, turning off the stove and taking the pancakes to the table where everyone had already sat down. "Yeah." Naruto smiled, a smile that Applejack knew well. She was about to say something until Naruto held his hand up and started to count down until he finally reached 0. "Out!" screamed Shigiya from upstairs before hearing Winona barking and saw her running back down the stairs. Applejack gave Naruto a stern glare. "What did you do?" "Nothing," he said innocently, "just had Winona go give Shigiya a good morning kiss is all." Applebloom started to giggle as Big Mac was chuckling a bit, along with Granny Smith. Applejack just shook her head and grabbed some pancakes. "Sometimes I wonder if I'm the only mature one in this house," she muttered under her breath. "Maybe," Naruto said as he got a plate of pancakes. Naruto was enjoying his pancakes until he felt someone smack him hard in the back of the head, making him choke on his pancakes. Naruto couldn't breathe until Applebloom gave him a glass of apple juice, which he gratefully took. "What was that for?" wheezed out Naruto, finally being able to breathe. "For waking me up again, you dip." Shigiya grunted out before taking a seat. "You could have killed me," Naruto said indignantly. "Maybe," Shigiya said with a shrug before asking if he could have a glass of juice. Naruto got a tick for his passive attitude before he calmed down, seeing as he is always like that. "So everyone ready for the summer sun celebration?" "Yeah, I can't wait," said Applebloom with excitement oozing out of her. "The music, food and the games. It's going to be great." "Now Applebloom, that ain't going to happen until tomorrow, you know that right?" "Yeah I know, but I just can't wait for it." "Then we will just have to keep you occupied, making you help us set up for the party." "Oh. I hope you're ready for tomorrow Naruto," said Shigiya, taking a small sip of his coffee. "Don't worry, I've been practicing," he said, grinning with excitement. "We're going to bring the house down." "Good," he said before taking another sip. "Well, we better get everything ready for the party right Big Mac?" asked Applejack as she helped Granny Smith take the dishes. "Yep. Oh yeah, I forgot that your whole family is coming today too," said Shigiya as he drank his coffee. "Hope you guys don't forget to make food for the celebration. I know how big of an appetite you guys have," Shigiya said, giving a glance at Applejack. "Especially you, Applejack." Applejack looked at him quizzically. "What are you talking about?" "I heard from a little birdie that you ate 50 apple fritters in 5 minutes last year," said Naruto giving her a playful grin. Applejack blushed and started to sputter. "How did you know about that?" she asked, glaring at him, demanding them to answer. "Shigiya told me," said Naruto, jabbing his thumb to Shigiya. "And how did you find out?" she asked glaring at him. "Granny Smith told me," responded Shigiya flippantly to Applejack's glare. "Granny?" Oh hush now sweetie pie. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. It just shows how much you're growing," said Granny Smith giving her a toothy grin. "Yeah, in more ways than one," said Shigiya sneaking a glance at her chest while sipping his coffee. Applejack covered her chest as she saw where his eyes wandered while Naruto smacked him in the back of the head. "Keep them at eye level pervert," said Naruto giving him a glare. "Hey, I was just stating the truth," said Shigiya giving a small smile. "It's not my fault that she doesn't keep a restraint on those jiggling water balloons," he said as his smile turned into grin. He took his cup to the sink to wash it. "He has a point, big sis." The unexpected voice coming from Applebloom shocking Applejack. "You could try to do something about those." "Hush Applebloom, it just shows she is becoming a mature woman," said Granny Smith before wiping a tear from her eye. "They grow up so fast, isn't that right Macintosh, Naruto?" Yep. Naruto preferred to stay silent as he didn't want to make this any more awkward than it already was and didn't want to make Applejack feel more embarrassed and also because he was trying not to laugh as well up a neutral face. Applejack on her part just let a groan as a blush spread more on her face. Luckily for her, Shigiya, sort of, came in for the rescue. As much fun it would be to embarrass Applejack, I better get going. As he had all of his stuff with him walking to the door. "Thank you for the coffee, see you guys later." And with that he was gone. Seeing the opportunity to change the subject, Naruto spoke up. "Come on fellas, we have to get everything prepared as well. The mayor told me that some big shot from Canterlot is going to come and expects the preparations to be done, and let's not forget the family is coming as well," he said as everyone nodded enthusiastic, getting everything ready, causing everyone to forget about the previous conversation and getting a silent thank you from Applejack. Everyone left the house to get prepared, not knowing that this day will mark the beginning of a grand adventure. Later in the day. Mayor May was a woman in her mid-20s, standing at a height of 5'6" and had light tan skin. She had light gray hair that was in an updo with dark gray highlight and had on a pair of oval glasses. She was wearing a light gray tan business suit with black high heels and a pair of white gloves, frilly lace on the edges. She was excited that the princess was coming to little old Appleville. This was the first time they have ever received this esteemed honor to host the summer sun celebration. She could almost imagine how much money the town was going to make from tourists that were bound to come to participate for the festival. She wanted everything to be perfect for the upcoming event. She was checking on the preparations and everything seemed to be going smoothly. The last place she had to check was Sweet Apple Acres since it was the farthest one from town. She was greeted by an aroma of delicious food being cooked at their home. She saw the Apple family making food and some new visitors she assumed were relatives coming for the festival as well. They already had a large table filled with delicious food. She was almost tempted to grab a bite, but she had to withhold her urges since she had business to do. She saw Applejack come out, carrying a tray of apple pies and apple strudel. "Hello Applejack," said the mayor walking up to her. "Howdy mayor, what brings you to these here parts?" asked Applejack setting down the tray. "Here to try out our food." "Sadly no, I'm on the job right now, you know how it is," she said. Applejack nodded in understanding. "I came to see if everything was prepared and by the looks and smells of things, it seems everything is going great." "Thanks, we're already putting the finishing touches for the buffet table." "But good, I'll send some people to come and pick up the food so you can focus on your family," she informed her. "Why thank you mayor," she said, happy she can spend some more time with her family. "Applejack, since you're almost done, are you free by any chance?" "Not really mayor, I still got to make more food for the family." "Why? You need some more help?" "Well yes, I need someone to escort the inspector around town. I would do it myself, but I have more business that I need to attend to and I was hoping to find a friendly person to do the job and your family seems to fit the bill perfectly." "Aw shucks, thanks mayor," said Applejack, blushing lightly from the compliment. "Well you can ask Naruto if you want. He's not really doing anything right this moment. I had him go harvest some apples. He would be a good choice. He's real friendly to folks." "I thought he was helping you with the cooking." "Ha. Not a chance," laughed Applejack, surprising the mayor. "Trust me, it's best if he stays out of the kitchen." "Okay then," she said unsurely, wondering how bad of a cook Naruto is before asking another question. "Where exactly is he?" "Over there." She pointed to Naruto's direction. "Thank you, I'll be on my way then," she said walking to Naruto's direction. "When you find him, tell him to bring back on what he had already collected." "Understood." Meanwhile, Naruto hit another tree as a batch of apples landed into the basket as he let out another sigh. It had already been 6 months since he first came to Appleville and he already became quite accustomed to this place and he already became really close to the girls. He still had some trouble remembering his past, but he started to remember the little things in his life, like his friends, his teachers, his favorite food, which he was sorely disappointed when he found out they don't have any here in Appleville, and where he used to live. He tried to look for it on the maps that were in the public library, but it was nowhere on the map, not even on the maps outside of Equestria showed it, so he was stuck until he remembered more of its location. He also remembered that he loved to pull pranks. When he told Rainbow Dash and Pinkie Pie, they were ecstatic to take him out in a pranking spree. It was a day that the citizens of Appleville will never forget. Many were still recovering from their pranks, and they were never able to find out who did it, but Applejack always knew it was them that did it, even though they never left any proof. Naruto bucked another tree, and the apples landed in the baskets. He was glad that he was able to finish the job faster without having to pick every apple from the tree. After Mac and Applejack taught him how to control his strength, Naruto was able to buck trees 5 times faster than before. Big Mac was surprised at how much strength he possessed. Applejack had already seen it, so she wasn't that shocked. It took a lot of trial and error, but he was finally able to get a hang of it to the point where he was able to harvest apples the same way as Big Mac and Applejack. But that's not what was distracting him. It was the memory. The more he learned about himself, the more questions seemed to pop up. Was that really him in that memory? He seemed so distant, so cold and so hollow, like an empty husk that was looking for something to fill the void. He just couldn't believe that was him. Oh, there is also the fact that he was married. That was something he never thought that would happen to him at such young age, but it also brought him some regret for not being able to remember her. There was still so many questions that he wished answers for, like, what was that power that he had use? Was there a war taking place in his homeland? Was the war still going on? Was his homeland okay? Did he kill that man? Was he a warrior? Was he a killer? Too many questions and not enough answers. Maybe in time he might get the answers he is searching for. Naruto was taken out of his thoughts when he heard someone call his name. He looked at the person that was in front of him. "Oh, sorry, Mayor," he said, then saw who it was. "How are you doing?" "Hello, Naruto, I'm doing fine." Greeted the mayor. "Is something the matter? You seem distracted. I've been trying to get your attention for a while now." "It's nothing to worry about," said Naruto, trying to change the subject. "Was there something you needed, ma'am?" "Oh, yes, I was wondering if you can help me with a little job," asked the mayor. "Sure, what do you need me to do?" Naruto asked as he hit another tree. "I was wondering if you could be a guide for the inspector." "Sure, I've got nothing else to do today." "Great, meet her at the entrance of town." "Okay, what time do they get here?" 3 o'clock. "What time is it right now?" 1:22. "An hour and a half, plenty of time. Just let me finish bucking and I'll head over at the entrance later. Applejack told me to tell you that you can bring back what you already collected." "Oh, okay then let's get this stuff back to the barn." Naruto and the mayor went back to the house with Naruto pulling a cart full of apples. As they reached the house they saw more people had arrived at the house. Applejack saw them coming this way as she finished talking to one of her family members. "Hey Naruto, leave that stuff there and come meet some of my family," said Applejack, calling Naruto over. Naruto walked to her as Mayor said that she was going to talk with Granny Smith for a little bit. "Fritter, meet my friend and worker, Naruto Uzumaki," said Applejack, introducing to the person she was talking to, "and Naruto, meet my favorite cousin, Apple Fritter." The girl seemed to be around Applejack's age but was much shorter than her, maybe around Pinkie's height. She had light lime green hair that was tied in pigtails which reached down to her shoulders. She had light skin tone with a heart-shaped face with freckles dusting her cheeks. She was wearing a yellow plaid shirt and short blue jeans. She had on brown cowboy boots that was decorated with flower stitches. She was also wearing a pair of brown work gloves as well. "Well, howdy there, nice to meet you," she said as she shook his hand. "Nice meet you," said Naruto, giving her a foxy grin. "So you're the fella that my cuz been gushing on about in her letters," she said as she gave him a look over. While she was doing that, Applejack was trying hard to hide her blush as Naruto gave her an amused smile. "Now that I got a good look at you, I can see why she would be smitten by you." Q in Applejack's full-blown blush. "That's enough, Fritter, stop exaggerating things, you know that is not what I said in the letter," said Applejack, trying to stop her cousin from saying anything more embarrassing. "What are you talking about?" asked Apple Fritter as she looked her questioningly. "There was that one letter that you sent me that you couldn't sleep all night cause you saw H." She couldn't say anything else as a tomato red Applejack covered her mouth. Naruto was going to ask her what she is doing until May interrupted them. "Naruto, sorry to interrupt, but it's to get going now," she told him as she ignored Fritter and Applejack's antics. "Okay then," he said before turning back to the girls. "See you later, girls, it was nice meeting you, Fritter." "Bye, Naruto," said Applejack as she waved goodbye to him as he left until she felt a sharp pain on her underarm. "Ow!" screamed Applejack, letting go of Fritter who was taking deep breaths. "Thanks, Celestia," she said as she got some air back into her lungs before glaring at Applejack. What the heck, Applejack? You could have killed me. Sorry, didn't mean to do that, she said sheepishly before glaring at her as well, just trying to stop you from say anything else to him. Why don't you just tell him? She asked. It's not like he's taken. It's complicated. What do you mean? I'll explain it over some cider, it's a long story. Okay. Naruto and Mei walked back into town after leaving Sweet Apple Acres. Naruto, you need to focus on this, you need to try to keep the inspector happy and try to show them that the preparations are almost finished and everything is going smoothly. Applejack seems to be finished already, so that would be your first extension to take them to. Yes, Ms. Mayor. Naruto said, giving a mock salute. You know, Naruto, you can just call me Mei when it's just the two of us. Okay, Mei. Said Naruto. Well, anyways, I better go back to my work. She said as she left the town hall. Naruto waved her goodbye until he remembered something important. Wait, Mei. What does the person look like? Oh yes, I forgot to mention that. She said thoughtfully. She has dark skin and purple hair with a pink stripe highlight. Got it? Giving her a nice guy pose. Mei smiled and almost laughed when she saw that ridiculous pose he made. Well, goodbye, Naruto. She said with a wave as she walked to the direction of town hall. Now what do I do now? I still have. Naruto look at the Appleville clock tower and saw that it was already 1:55. An hour left, might as well check on the others and see how they are doing. Naruto finally reached Fluttershy's cottage and saw her teaching her birds to play some songs as she sang with them. Naruto couldn't help but be entranced by her voice. Naruto always loved listening to her sing. Her voice always seemed to calm him down, and at times it always seemed to remind him someone, but he could never place his finger on it. Hey there, Fluttershy. Said Naruto, breaking her melody as well as scaring her. Fluttershy let out a loud eep as her wings retracted. Fluttershy closed her eyes preparing for the impact as she fell. Then she felt something catch her. She opened her eyes and saw Naruto holding her. Fluttershy blushed so hard that she could put a tomato to shame by her blush. Sorry about that, Fluttershy, I didn't mean to scare you. He said with a smile, but with a hint of concern in his voice. Oh okay, Naruto, you just startled me. Stuttered Fluttershy quietly. Still, I'm sorry for scaring your birds away. He said as he set her down. Fluttershy looked back to where her birds were. Don't worry, Naruto. They'll come back in a little while. So Fluttershy, how is your music coming along? Oh, we are doing just great. I'm so proud of my little animal friends. I do hope the princess enjoys the music. Don't worry. I am positive that she will love it. Thank you, Naruto. She said gratefully for the confidence. So what are you doing here, Naruto? Not that I mind you visiting me, I love seeing you. I mean I love it when you visit me. I mean, said Fluttershy, stuttering, while her blush made a second comeback. Naruto gave a small chuckle, seeing as Fluttershy was becoming a stuttering mess. He always did love teasing Fluttershy because he found it really cute when she blushed. He was tempted to tease her some more, but it seemed like she already had enough if the increasing blush was any kind of indicator. Fluttershy, calm down, I know what you meant, now take some deep breath. Said Naruto, trying to calm her. Thankfully Fluttershy started to calm down as she took some deep breaths. Sorry, Naruto, and thank you. Said Fluttershy quietly, finished taking some deep breaths. Don't worry about it and you're welcome. Said Naruto, giving her a big grin. Anyway, I just came by to check on you and the girls and see how things were going, but things seem to be going fine in your area. Oh, thank you, me and my little critter friends are working really hard. Well, I'm going to check on the others and let you work with your little friends, see ya. Said Naruto as he started to walk away as he saw her bird friends come back. Naruto, wait. Fluttershy called out to him. Yeah? Said Naruto, turning around, looking at her. Fluttershy fidgeted a bit, blushing from her head to her neck. Will why you? Fluttershy took a deep breath. Will I see you at town hall? Yep. Said Naruto, giving her a thumb up before leaving. Fluttershy stood there watching him leave, giving a defeated sigh. She turned around and saw her friends giving her deadpan stares. How they were able to do it without eyebrows she did not know. I know, I should have told him, but I was scared. One of her birds, a robin, got in her face and started to give a series of chirps. But what if he said no and doesn't want to be my friends anymore? I don't think I can handle that kind of rejection. The robin gave another series chirps, which made Fluttershy give a small sigh. Yes, you're right. He wouldn't do something like that even if he didn't share the same feelings. She said as she looked to where Naruto left, watching him disappear through the thick trees that lead to town. Naruto was walking to Sugarcube Corner to see if he could get something quick to eat, but he saw that they were going to be at town hall to cater the food. Oh man, said Naruto sadly as he really wanted to get some of Pinky's red velvet cupcakes. Might as well head there now. Naruto walked across the road which leads to town hall. When he got there he notices that the town hall had been decorated. There were long white ribbons with yellow and orange stripes going down the middle, tied to each pillar. 4 big bouquets and vases that held flowers of various kinds were near the entrance of the door, with a red carpet coming out from the double doors. Near the top of the building were 3 banners, and each one had the sun on it. They really did a great job on the decoration, if Naruto had anything to say about it. He also notices that they were setting up a stadium right next to it as well. Naruto went inside to see if Rarity or Shigiya were in there. When he stepped inside, Naruto was amazed by how it looked on the inside than the outside. There were purple ribbons hanging on the banisters and purple silk banners hanging on each pillar. There were bouquets of white and yellow roses in every corner in sapphire vases. Tied to the banister of the balcony in the front of the room was the same banner that they had outside as well. Naruto saw Rarity inspecting some of the decorations while moving some things around with her levitation spell. He saw Shigiya sitting in one of the chairs that had been set up near the buffet table, tuning his guitar. He was now wearing black dress pants and a black button-up shirt with a white outline of a Chinese dragon on the side. He was still wearing his black sunglasses, but he had put on a black fedora. "Hey there guys," said Naruto, greeting them. "Hello there, Naruto," greeted Rarity, but was still focused on putting up the decoration. "Yo," said Shigiya, giving him a peace sign before going back to tuning his guitar. "So what are you doing here, Naruto? I thought you had some kind of party to plan." "I was, but the mayor needed some help escorting the inspector around town, so she asked me to do it," said Naruto as he took a seat next to Shigiya while he watched Rarity work. "Really?" said Rarity, hearing what Naruto had just said, but still kept working as she started to arrange the flowers. "Well, I do hope they approve of my work." "Don't worry. You did an amazing job, Rarity." "Ah, thank you, Naruto, I really appreciate it," Rarity said, happy to hear someone enjoy her work. "I just wish you accompanied me instead of this vulgar gentleman." Rarity gave a distasteful stare at Shigiya. "Hate you too, Rarity," said Shigiya as he went back to tuning his guitar. "Anyway," said Rarity, ignoring Shigiya's comment. "How has your day been, Naruto?" "Oh, you know, pretty much like everyone else, busy." "Well, today is a very important day and everyone must be at their best today." "Well, I better get going then, what time is it?" Shigiya started before he took out his pocket watch. 2:55. "Damn. I'm going to be late," said Naruto, jumping out of his chair and started to run out the door. "Bye, see you later," he yelled as he ran out of the building. "I don't know why you didn't ask him out yet. You had a good opportunity," he asked, looking at Rarity. "Oh, Shigiya, there are many things you should know about women, and one of those things is that a lady strikes when the mood is right," she said as she focused back to her work. "Really? I wonder how you plan on doing that with all of the competition," he asked before he started playing some music. "I'll find a way," she said, staring at her work with her mind being occupied by the people also wanting to be with Naruto. Somewhere else. Up high, coming near Appleville, was a chariot being pulled by 2 angels wearing golden body armor which covered their whole body, making them look like twins. In the chariot 2 people, a little boy and a girl, were having a small argument. "I can't believe the princess didn't believe me," said the girl exasperatedly. "Well, maybe you should listen to the princess, maybe it's a way to help you, and she did give you the public library to sleep for the night," said the little boy as he reread the scroll. "Spike, how is me checking on preparations and making friends going to help stop Nightmare Moon and save Equestria?" said the girl, giving a small huff. "Can you at least try to make some friends, Twilight?" asked Spike as they finally made it to the entrance of Appleville. "No promises, Spike," said Twilight as she and Spike got out of the chariot before looking at the 2 angels guards, giving them a smile. "Thank you, good sirs, for the ride." "You're welcome, Madam Sparkle," said one of the guards before they left back to the castle. "Let's get this over with. The faster we finish this, the faster we can check for more information on Nightmare Moon," she said as she started walking into town. Determined to finish this assignment that her princess gave her. "Wait, Twilight. What is it, Spike? Don't you see time is of the essence? It says here that someone is going to come to help guide us around town." "I don't have time to wait for them, Spike." Twilight started until she bumped into someone and fell flat on her butt. "Are you okay?" said the voice as they helped her get up. "Sorry about that, I was a little distracted trying to look for someone." "Are you by any chance the one the princess asked to check on the preparations?" "Yes, and who are you?" she asked as she looked up to the person she bumped into while dusting her skirt. "Hello, my name is Naruto Uzumaki. I'm your guide for the day." Twilight Sparkle was not having a good day. At first her day started out good, she had learned another spell from her mentor and ruler of Equestria, Princess Celestia, and Spike, her #1 assistant, made her favorite lunch, Caesar salad. Then she decided to spend her free time reading a chapter of The Mare and the Moon in Wise Tales of Old by Steve Crown. That's when her day started to go sour. She learned that the prophecy of the Mare and the Moon was coming true. She had tried to warn Princess Celestia, but when the princess didn't believe her and told her to stop reading those dusty old books, it felt like she just sucker punched by one of the royal guards. Then she told her that she should take time off of studying and sent both her and Spike to go check on the preparations of the summer solstice festival, but not only that, she also told her to make some friends while she was at it. Ridiculous. She shouldn't be wasting her time making friends, the fate of Equestria lay in her hands. She was going to follow Princess Celestia's order and try to finish this as fast as possible. Then she could go back to prepare a plan to convince the princess of the oncoming threat and stop Nightmare Moon's return. Just she was about set her plans in motion, but she bumped into someone which knocked her out of her deep thoughts. The person introduced himself as Naruto Uzumaki, who so happened to be their guide. He was a tall blonde with cat-like whisker marks on his face, an athletic build, and wearing an orange-plated shirt with blue jeans. "You okay, Twilight?" asked her little assistant, Spike, as he helped her up. While those two were busy, Naruto was able to get a good look at the two. The girl seemed to be around Rarity's height and her age as well. Her skin was a light dark that complemented her hair. She had long violet hair with a long pink strip on the left side that reached her upper back and was styled in a Heim cut. She was wearing a purple blouse with a brown sleeveless vest and purple skirt that reached her thighs. She also wore a pair of black Mary Jane shoes with long purple socks that reached to her thighs. The other one was around Applebloom and her friend's age. He was around same height as the girls, with green spiked up hair and pale skin and slitted emerald eyes. He had two little fangs sticking out of his mouth and wore a long sleeve light purple jacket with a large lime green line going down the middle. He had cargo pants in the same colors but with a green line on the side of the pants and a pair of purple sneakers with a small black dragon head on the side. "Yes, Spike, I'm fine," she said as she dusted off the dirt from her skirt before giving Naruto a slight glare. "So you're my escort, it seems someone needs to learn be punctual." Naruto rubbed his head sheepishly. "Yes, sorry about that. I was talking a little with some of my friends and I just lost track of time." Twilight just looked at him for a while, making Naruto feel nervous by her stare. He was about to say something to her until she sighed. "Fine, let's go. By the way, what are your names?" asked Naruto, looking over at them. "My name is Twilight Sparkle," she answered curtly to him. "And this little guy is." "Hi, my name's Spike." Spike popped up from behind of Twilight, waving at him. "Nice to meet you." Naruto waved back. "Are you two by any chance hungry?" "Yeah, I'm starving." Spike spoke up, rubbing his stomach. "Spike, focus," scolded Twilight. "We don't have time, we have to check the preparations," she said, bringing down Spike's mood. "Hey, don't worry little buddy, our first stop is the catering," said Naruto, trying to bring up Spike's mood. Spike's face lit up upon hear that. As they walked through town, they hadn't said a word to each other. Spike was busy looking at the new attractions and decorations while Twilight was in deep thought. Naruto tried to break the silence by starting up a conversation. "So," started Naruto, grabbing their attention. "Tell me about yourselves." "Huh?" Twilight was startled out of thoughts by the sudden question, she was too focused on the coming of Nightmare Moon. "I asked to tell me about yourselves, like what are your likes, dislikes, hobbies, and dreams for the future. A little personal, don't you think? And why do you want to know?" "Yeah, shouldn't you tell us about yourself first before asking us?" spoke up Spike, entering the conversation after finishing his sightseeing. "You got a point, and as to the why, it will help pass the time because it takes a while to get to Sweet Apple Acres, plus I'd like to get to know you. Anyway, my name is Naruto Uzumaki. I like my friends, the Apple family, music and ramen, even though they don't have any here." He muttered the last part to himself in disdain. "I dislike are people who think they are better than others just because of their status, those who hurt others because they think they can, and waiting to get a piece of Granny Smith apple pie. My hobbies include training, playing pranks and making music. My dream for the future is to remember my past." "What do you mean?" "Well, I have no memory of my past since before I came here, but it's not all bad. I started to get some of my memory back." "Well, okay then. My name is Twilight Sparkle, as you already know. I like reading, studying new magic, my family and Princess Celestia. My dislikes are when things are not organized and when things don't go according to plan. My hobbies include collecting new books, learning new magic, and mastering my spells. My dream for the future is to be a great sorceress." "That's good," said Naruto with a nod. He turned to look at the green-haired child. "What about you, little guy?" "My name's Spike Sparkle, and I am a draconic," spoke Spike with enthusiasm. "I heard about draconics, they live far out in the west and prefer to be isolated, they're considered to be very dangerous," said Naruto, happy that he get to meet in person, even if it was a young one. "Yeah, we're the toughest. Anyway, I like gems, my family, and comics. I dislike those who hurt my family and blue blood." Spike said the last part with disdain. Who's Blue Blood? Asked Naruto. He is Princess Celestia's distant nephew. He really doesn't like anyone that he considers a commoner and treats them like garbage. Said Twilight, narrowing her eyes as she remembered all of interactions with Blue Blood. All terrible moments but luckily few in number. How he's related to Celestia, only she knows. Let's forget about that guy and get back on topic. So what are your hobbies and dreams? I like to collect gems, taste gems, and read comics. As for my dream for the future, I want to become a powerful dragon. So what would you do with all that power? Naruto asked Spike. I would protect my family, Princess Celestia and Twilight. That's good, always keep that in mind. Naruto patted Spike on the head. Now that's out of the way, let's move. Naruto was interrupted as something slammed into his stomach and knocked him onto the ground, surprising the other two. Naruto looked to see who or what had knocked him down and saw pink puffy hair in his vision. Hey Pinkie Pie, how's it going? Said Naruto as he felt the pinkette shift as she looked at him with a big smile. Hey there Naruto, how's my favorite boyfriend? She said while hugging him, not being bothered by what she just said. Boyfriend? When did I become your boyfriend? Asked Naruto frantically as he blushed at the thought. Not that he wouldn't mind being her boyfriend, she very sweet and always had the best intention for people, and she was great with kids. Even though he wouldn't admit it out loud, but he considered her to be pretty cute, especially when she laughed. When you became my friend, silly. Said Pinkie as she bopped him on the nose. But when did I agree to become your boyfriend? What do you mean? Asked Pinkie. I think what he means when did you two have a romantic relationship? Spoke up Twilight, who was getting tired of the situation and wanted to get it over with. Oh silly you, I meant that you are a boy who is my best friend. Said Pinkie. She giggled, making Naruto calm down and feel a little embarrassed for thinking that Pinkie wanted him to be her boyfriend. Then Pinkie gained a look in her eyes that made Naruto both nervous and, dare he say, a little excited, but I wouldn't mind being your girlfriend if you asked me to. Naruto's blush came back for a second round at full force. Before he could say anything Pinkie started to laugh hysterically snort ha 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 ha. You should have seen the look on your face, ha ha ha, it was priceless. You look like a tomato. Snort ha 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 ha. She rolled off him but kept laughing. Naruto had calmed down when Pinkie told him she was joking. Her laughing must have been contagious as he and Spike started to laugh along with her. You really got me Pinkie, I thought that you really wanted to go out with me. He said still chuckling but stopped when he noticed that she stopped laughing too. But if I was serious? She said in the most serious look he had ever seen on her. Well you ugh. Naruto was completely tongue-tied as he didn't know how to answer her. Ha 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 ha, I got you again. Pinkie laughed again losing the serious look on her face. Twice in a row, I am so going to get you back Pinkie Pie. I can't wait to see you try, I hope it involves pie. Hopefully apple pie. Ahem. They were interrupted from their conversation by Twilight as Spike was by her side again. As fun it is to see you two flirt with each other, we are a schedule and I do not want to be late. So I'll be going by myself to check the preparations if you're just going to waste time. Come on Spike. Before she and Spike could leave them be, Pinkie Pie had gotten in right in front of two, both surprised by her sudden appearance in front of them from on top of Naruto. What the how did you Spike started to ask before he was interrupted. Oh my gosh, you must be new in town. Said Pinkie excitedly. Really what gave it away? Asked Twilight sarcastically. Pinkie Pie either didn't notice or care that she was being sarcastic as she went on. Ooh, I should throw you a party to welcome you to Appleville. That way you guys can make lots of friends since you're new in town. Oh it's going to be so fun, I mean who doesn't like parties? Before Twilight could tell her no, Pinkie had already left without a trace. Well she was weird. Spoke Spike, still trying to understand what just happened. True but she's a fun person to be around. Said Naruto getting off the ground, dusting off any dirt that was on him. Okay, let's get going before something else distracts us. Said Twilight before putting her attention back on Naruto. Sorry about that, let's get going. They had reached Sweet Apple Acres without any interruptions. As they reached the gates, they saw Applejack carry a basket of apples. Hey Applejack. Applejack turned and looked for who was calling for her. She saw a group coming towards her, but she only recognized one of them. Hey Naruto, finished already? Who's the girl and the little fella? Asked Applejack, pointing at Twilight and Spike. They are the inspectors from Canterlot, Twilight and Spike Sparkle. Naruto said before turning to the other two. This is Applejack or AJ, one of my best friends and boss. She and her family are in charge of the food. Applejack walked to Twilight and offered her hand, which Twilight took. Twilight soon started to regret it as it felt like her hand was being crushed, it also didn't help that she was being vigorously shaken too. Hi there, it is a pleasure to meet ya, we apples love meeting new folks and making new friends. Friends? Well about that. I bet you guys are hungry, how about you try sampling some of our grub? said Applejack, letting go of her hand, even though Twilight's hand still kept going up and down. Spike helped her by stopping it, but couldn't help letting out a laugh. I'm not really. You gotta try the food. I guarantee that you will be asking for more. The thing is. Soup's on everybody. Yelled Applejack as she started to ring a cowbell before bringing them over to a table. Twilight was about to tell her that they were in a hurry. Then they started to feel a rumble. Then all around them were a whole mess of people. There's a lot more people than before, Naruto muttered to himself when he saw the visitors triple in size. Yup, most of them lived farther, so it took them a while to get here. Said Applejack. Anyway, let me introduce you to them all while they give you a sample of their food. When Naruto and the others looked around, they all thought the same thing. This is going to take a while. By the time Applejack finished introducing the family to them, as well as Naruto receiving some flirting from her other female cousin before receiving a scolding from Applejack, which Naruto didn't notice. His focus, as well as the others, was on the huge pile of food that was staked on their table. Wow, this is a lot of food. Naruto kept looking at the food before taking a big whiff of the sweet aroma of the food. He felt his stomach growl at him to take a bite of the delicious delicacy. He wasn't the only one, as he saw Spike also looking at the food with hunger, about ready to pounce on the food. Well, started Twilight. As much I would love to try out all this food, we really have to go. Everyone gave a depressing whine, hearing that she didn't want to try out their food. Twilight felt a little bad, but the fate of Equestria was on the line and she couldn't waste time eating delicious food. When she turned around, she came face to face with Applebloom, who was giving her the look. Don't you want to stay for brunch? She asked in a sad, quiet voice. Her eyes had gone all watery while giving her a sad little pout. Naruto knew that Twilight would cave in once Applebloom gave her that look. Very few people were ever able to say no to Applebloom when she made that face. Even Applejack had a hard time trying to say no to that face. Naruto started to mentally count down as he saw her start to tremble when Twilight looked at her face. 3, 2, 1. Okay, said Twilight with a sigh before looking at the pile of food again. Ugh, too much pie. Said Twilight, rubbing the noticeable bulge on her stomach. Naruto, Twilight and Spike had left Sweet Apple Acres once they had finished eating. But it tasted really good though. Said Spike, giving a loud belch. You know, you didn't have to eat that much. Said Naruto, even though he and Spike actually ate more than her. Twilight gave an annoyed grunt before looking at Spike. What's next on the list, Spike? Next is to talk to someone named Rainbow Dash, who is in charge of clearing the weather. Replied Spike as he pulled out a scroll from his jacket. Doesn't look like she is doing a good job. Complained Twilight, looking up in the sky and spotting some clouds roaming around. She turned to Naruto. Can you tell me where Rainbow Dash is? Sorry, haven't seen her all morning. Naruto was interrupted when they started to hear screams above them. They looked up and saw someone coming down at a fast speed towards them. Look ood. The person screamed as they crashed right into Naruto. Twilight and Spike went to check if Naruto and the person that crashed into him were okay. Naruto gave a small grunt as he tried to see who had crashed into him. He saw a colorful spectrum invading his vision. The girl still had her eyes closed. Naruto looked down at the person, checking if she was okay. Hey Dash, what up? The rainbow-haired girl opened her eyes when she recognized the voice that was talking to her. She looked at the person she crashed into and saw it was Naruto. Hey there Naruto, sorry about crashing into you, man. Rainbow apologized. Hey, are you guys alright? Asked Itzy as she was flying towards them. Yeah, I'm fine, it'll take more than that to hurt me. Said Naruto. Ahem. Said Twilight to catch their attention. They noticed that she and Ditzy were sporting small blushes while the former was covering Spike's eyes and the latter was a little miffed. Can you two please get up already, there are children present. They looked down and noticed that they were in a very suggestive position, with Rainbow straddling the grounded Naruto. They quickly got off of each other and got back to their feet. Both were sporting blushes, dusting themselves off while avoiding eye contact. Hey anyway, said Naruto, changing the subject. This is Rainbow Dash, the girl you were looking for, and the girl over there is Ditzy. Hello. Greeted Ditzy, waving at them. Hey, what up? Need something? Said Rainbow to greet them. Hello, my name is Twilight and this is Spike, Twilight greeting her back, and yes, I need to ask you a question. Let me guess, you want to know how to be cool as I am? Said Rainbow Dash, giving her arrogant smirk, not notice the facepalms from Naruto and Ditzy. Ah, no. Twilight deadpanned. Why hasn't the sky been cleared yet? Don't worry, I can finish this in a jiffy, said Rainbow Dash, flying onto a cloud to relax on, which annoyed Twilight. Right after I finish my training. Training? She asked. She is training so that she can join the Wanderbolts. Answered Naruto before looking at Ditzy. By the way, what are you doing here, Ditzy? After I left work, Rainbow asked me to help her with her training. How come you didn't try to make her get back to work? asked Twilight, still annoyed by Rainbow Dash's dismissive attitude. Sorry, I tried to get her back to work, but she kept insisting on doing her training. Twilight gave an annoyed grunt before looking up at Rainbow Dash, who was still lounging on a cloud. Twilight glared at her before smiling as she formed an idea. So Rainbow Dash, you want to join the Wonderbolts, correct? Yep. Same Wonderbolts who are considered to be the elite flyers in all of Equestria. The very same. And you want to join them? Yeah. Said Rainbow Dash, starting to get annoyed by all of the questions. I don't see that happening. What was that? Asked Rainbow in low tone, glaring at Twilight. I mean, why would the elite flyers of Equestria pick someone who can't even keep the sky cleared for one day? Said Twilight, not even fazed by the heated glare that Rainbow Dash was giving her. Hey, I can clear those clouds in 10 seconds flat. Said Rainbow, getting into Twilight's face. Really? Asked Twilight with a challenging look. Really? Prove it. Rainbow Dash flew off and started smashing clouds left and right at high speeds. By the time she finished, Spike and Twilight were awed by how fast she was able to finish. See, what I tell ya. 10 seconds flat. Rainbow Dash said in a smug voice. Actually Rainbow Dash, chimed in Naruto, grabbing her attention. It was 8 seconds, seems you've gotten faster. Huh? Wow, I knew that extra training would pay off, but then again, I am just that awesome. Why couldn't she have done that in the first place? Ditsy mumbled under her breath, annoyed that they could have finished a lot sooner. Now that this problem has been cleared up, we must be going. Said Twilight, snapping out of her stupor. Yeah, we better get going. Said Naruto walking beside Twilight and Spike. See you guys later. Bye you guys. Both Rainbow and Ditsy called while waving. So where are we going next? Asked Twilight. Well, it says we should go check on the decorations at Town Hall, and then the last one would be the music. Said Spike as he pulled out the scroll again. Got it, let's go. After they left and were out of earshot, Ditsy turned to Rainbow Dash with a glare. You did that on purpose. Stated Ditsy, crossing her arms in disapproval. I don't know what you're talking about. Said Rainbow Dash, adjusting her goggles trying to avoid eye contact. Like I said before, it was an accident. So you just happened to accidentally land on top of Naruto. Said Ditsy in an accusing tone. Yep. She simply said, still pretending to fix her goggles. Ditsy kept looking at her before asking. So how did his muscles feel? Like soft chiseled rocks. She said, before clamping her mouth shut. She looked at Ditsy, who was smirking at her. Yeah, an accident. The three had walked into the town hall. Twilight and Spike stared at the ribbons that adorned the pillars of the building in luxurious display of color and fashion. Good. She thought. It seems everything's in order here. The rarity is all about perfection. Piped in Naruto. Beautiful, said Spike unexpectedly with a dreaming look on his face. Twilight looked around room before nodding with a satisfied smile. Yes, the decorations look quite beautiful. Twilight responded. But of course, nothing but the best for Princess Celestia, anything less would be an insult to my skills and her. Spoke a voice, giving a small scoff. I think he was talking about her. Said Naruto, pointing at Rarity who was still busy on hanging up decorations. Hey, Rarity. Not right now, Naruto, I'm almost done. Said Rarity, putting the finishing touches on the wall before turning to them. Now what was it that you need, my goodness? She shouted suddenly, making the others jump. Naruto. What happened to you? She asked. Naruto looked himself over, wondering what she was talking about. It seemed due to Rainbow Dash crashing into him, he was now covered in dirt. Oh yeah, Kinda got in a little accident with Rainbow when she was trying out one of her stunts. I knew she had something to do with it, that girl, I swear, sighed Rarity before she picked him up with her magic. Whoa. Hey Rarity, what are you doing? Screamed Naruto, trying to get himself back on the ground. As your friend, I cannot let you walk around town looking like that. She said before dragging a protesting Naruto out the door, with the other two following right behind them, one more eager than the other and the latter wondering what she had done to deserve this punishment. And I don't want you out of this bathroom until you are spotless. Ordered Rarity, closing the bathroom door. This seems a bit excessive, don't you think, Rarity? Groaned Naruto from behind the door. She opened it again, which earned her a startled yelp. I left some clean clothes on the counter. She said before closing the door. Rarity walked back downstairs to where Twilight and Spike were waiting for them. Sorry about that. It'll be a while before he finishes. In the meantime, why don't we try to get to know each other? She set some tea in front of them. My name is Rarity Relure, I design clothes for a living, and this is my store, as well as my home, the Carousel Boutique, where everything is chic, unique, and magnific. My name is, started Twilight before being interrupted by Spike. My name is Spike. I'm a draconic, and I'm also single. Said Spike excitedly, looking at her with admiration. Twilight rolled her eyes at her little brother assistant's behavior. My, aren't you just the cutest little thing? Squealed Rarity, pinching his cheeks. Spike seemed to just melt at her touch. You must meet my little sister and her friends, you will get along with them just fine. Maybe next time. Anyway, my name is Twilight Sparkle and I came all the way from Canterlot too. Canterlot? Screamed Rarity, interrupting Twilight while getting close to her. You're from Canterlot. Why yes. Said Twilight, getting a little uncomfortable on how close Rarity was. Oh, the glamour and the sophistication. Oh, how I envy you, Twilight. I would love nothing more than to live there and sell my dresses in Canterlot. Said Rarity with her eyes sparkling at the very thought. Before she could ask anything else, she was interrupted by a voice. Hey guys, I'm finished. Announced Naruto as he came down the stairs. Naruto was wearing a rustic orange button shirt with the sleeves folded up to the elbow. He had dark blue jeans and a pair of black dress shoes. Thanks for the clothes, Rarity, though it wasn't really necessary. Said Naruto. Rarity shook her head, smiling at Naruto. Nonsense, I couldn't have one of my friends walk around town like some kind of Neanderthal. It was just a little dirt. That's no excuse. Twilight was starting to get really tired and really annoyed by today, and her being late was not helping her sour mood. I believe it is time to go, don't you think? Said Twilight, interrupting them from their conversation. The celebration is going to start tonight and we have to check the music. Right. Nodded Naruto. Rarity, do you know where Shigiya went? I didn't see him with you. Rarity gained a small frown. Yes, he said something about visiting Fluttershy. I guess that will be our next stop. Said Twilight, dragging Spike out the door while he tried to get out of her grip. Naruto was about to follow them before remembering something. By the way, where did you put my clothes? I have them in the wash right now. I'll bring them back when done. Naruto gave her a grateful smile. Thanks, Rarity, I'll bring back your clothes tomorrow. Rarity waved him off. Keep them, consider them as a gift. Thanks, Rarity. Think nothing of it, darling, just helping one of my close friends is all. We'll see you later. Wait, Naruto dear, Rarity called out, stopping Naruto. I was wondering if you were willing to offer me a dance during the celebration. She asked with some hope in her voice. Naruto smiled at her. Sure. Rarity felt ecstatic from his answer. Anything for a friend. And like that her mood went down, she was hoping that he would see her more as a friend after the offer. Oh well, she will have to make her move when they do their dance. See you tonight, Naruto. Yeah, you too. After leaving Rarity's boutique, Naruto, Twilight and Spike walked down the road, heading to the edge of town. So the last thing on the list is music. Said Spike, looking at the list in hands. Good, said Twilight. Then I can finally get back to the problem at hand. What problem? Asked Naruto. If you want, I can help you out. It's nothing that you need to worry about. Twilight said curtly. I only need help from Spike and the princess. Okay, I understand, it's a personal problem. Said Naruto, putting his hands up in mock surrender. I won't button again. Naruto moved up further slightly. Sheesh, Twilight, you didn't have to be so harsh on him. He was just trying to help. Said Spike, giving Twilight disappointed glare, in turn making her sigh. Fine, you're right. Said Twilight. I should go apologize to him. Twilight walked up to him and tapped him on the shoulder, trying to get his attention. Excuse me, Naruto. I wanted to apologize for my rude behavior. Hey, don't worry about it, I shouldn't have eavesdropped in the first place. Don't worry, I shouldn't have been so rude to you, you were only trying to help. It's fine, but if you don't mind me asking, what's the problem? It's okay if you still don't want to tell me. Twilight looked at him before putting on a serious look. You wouldn't believe me if I told you. She said, letting out a small sigh. Try me. Said Naruto, giving her a reassuring smile. Twilight looked at him for a bit before letting out a small breath. Okay, started Twilight. Well, after reading a book on old lore on my free time, one of the stories piqued my interest. So I started to do some research on it and I found out that the lore is true and that the prophecy will come true. What prophecy? The return of Nightmare Moon. Silence came between them as Naruto looked at Twilight with an unreadable expression. See, I knew you wouldn't believe me. Said Twilight angrily, snapping Naruto out of it. No, it's not that, it's just who's Nightmare Moon. Who's that? Are you serious? Naruto just nodded his head. Well, she was the sister of Princess Celestia, who tried to usurp her rule to become the sole ruler of Equestria and bring eternal night. Wait, Nightmare Moon is Princess Celestia's sister? Yes, she was once the Princess of the Moon, as well as the co-ruler of Equestria. No one seems to remember her real name, as it been lost through time. So why did she rebel against her sister? Well, it said that the reason was because everyone loved Princess Celestia and her sunny days, while everyone slept through her nights, making her believe that they were shunning her night, which made her jealous of her sister. So what happened next? Said Naruto, enthralled with the story. Well, she refused to lower the moon when Princess Celestia brought out the sun. Nightmare Moon told her she will never bring the moon down and that she would take the kingdom from her and become the sole ruler of Equestria. Princess Celestia tried pleading with her to stop what she was doing, but she refused to listen. So Princess Celestia had no choice but to confront her sister and stop her. As you can guess, she couldn't destroy her sister, for how could someone destroy their own family, especially their only sister? So she had no choice but to use powerful artifacts known as the elements of harmony to send her sister to the moon. So for 1,000 years, Princess Celestia ruled Equestria as its only ruler and gained control over both the sun and the moon. Okay, but question. Yes. What are the elements of harmony? I don't know, I was hoping to get more information on them at the library. Well, what are you planning to do once you get to the library? I'm going to find the location of the elements of harmony and use them against Nightmare Moon. But why are you here as an inspector instead of looking for them, the elements of harmony? I was ordered by the princess to be here. Really? Did you tell her what was happening? Yes, she said to stop reading those dusty old books and to try to make some friends. How is making friends going to help me find and stop Nightmare Moon? I'm asking, tell me. Well, I think there's got to be a reason behind it, don't you think? What do you mean? Well, Princess Celestia never did say to stop looking further into this. Well, no, she never did. So I'm thinking maybe the key to this problem is you making some friends. But I just don't see how making friends will stop Nightmare Moon. Well, maybe later on you might, but you got to try to make some friends before you can truly see the value of friendship. For now we got to get going, it's getting late and we still have one more place to go before I take you to the library. Twilight skeptically thought about what Naruto had said while still following him, with Spike right behind her. After reaching the edge of town, they walked down the path that led to a cottage. As they reached the cottage, they started to hear tweeting accompanied by a sweet, soft voice. Ah, la, la, la. As they approached, they spotted a woman with pink hair. She was floating in the air with a choir birds perched on a tree with a black-haired man sitting under the tree, inspecting a guitar. The one who was singing is Fluttershy and one with a guitar is Shigiya, who are two of the four in charge of the music. The other two are Vinyl and Octavia, who are back in town setting up the equipment. Thank you for telling me. Twilight walked up to where Fluttershy and Shigiya were. Hello there. Twilight shouted, scaring the birds and as well as Fluttershy, whose wings disappeared, causing her to fall. She was caught by Shigiya before she hit the ground. Seriously, Fluttershy, you got to stop being so easily startled, you could get hurt badly. Sorry, I couldn't help it. It's fine, Fluttershy, just be careful, okay? Fluttershy nodded as Naruto and the others came up to them, just as Shigiya put her down. I'm sorry, didn't mean to scare you or your birds. Apologized Twilight, giving them a small bow. Fluttershy didn't say anything, she just hid her face in her hair while behind Shigiya. He alone muttered a small sigh because of Fluttershy's behavior. It's fine, no one got hurt, right? Anyway, how can I help you? Do you need something? Yes, I'm the supervisor of the festival and I came here see how the music was coming along. It's going great, we were just finishing the entrance music. If it's not too much trouble, may I hear the music please? Sure. Shigiya said, grabbing the guitar that he was inspecting. I hope you don't mind me borrowing Naruto for a bit, kinda need him for this. He said. Come on, let's get this over with. Got it. By the way, what's up with the clothes? Shigiya looked Naruto over again. Let me guess, Rarity. He said, more than a statement than a question. Yeah, you know Rarity. You really gotta stop letting her use a dress-up doll. It's fine, I get free clothes out of it at least. Yeah, I guess. Ahem. Their conversation was interrupted by Twilight, annoyed that they were being ignored. Can we get this underway? Fine, said Shigiya readying his guitar. Ready. Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles, thank you UNKNOWN4804 for the suggestion. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun. And I say it's alright. Little darling, it's been a long cold lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun. And I say it's alright. Little darling, the smiles returning to the faces. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun. And I say it's alright. Sun, here it comes. 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 Little darling, I feel that ice is slowly melting. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been clear. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun. And I say it's alright. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun. It's alright, it's alright. Everybody was silent once Naruto finished the last of the lyrics. The sound of birds from before flapping back onto the tree. Ooh, that was awesome, do another one, encore, encore. Spike said excitedly, clapping and whistling, scaring the birds off again. It was really great. Said Fluttershy, back to her normal self and giving soft small claps, amazed by Naruto's singing. Yes, quite good, at least the main music is finished. Said Twilight, clapping as well but a little bit louder. Thanks guys, really like the positive feedback, but it was really last-minute product. Said Shigiya, putting the guitar on his back. Still it was still amazing that you made it last night. Since everything seems to be in check, can you take me to the library? Sure. Said Naruto, leading Twilight to town. Once they were out of earshot, Shigiya let out a deep sigh. Fuck. He said, before noticing Fluttershy glaring at him causing him to flinch. Shigiya, what have we talked about your cursing? Sorry, but come on. That idiot got another girl hooked on him, how many girls is he going to get? Said Shigiya letting out a sigh, not noticing Fluttershy flinching from his comment. Well whatever, we better get to Pinky's party before she comes after us. Shigiya and Fluttershy began following them to town as well. By the time they reached the library the sun was already setting. They reached a giant that had been hollowed out to be used as a public library, with a sign next to the door that said Golden Oak Library. Ah, here we are, the library. Thank you Naruto for showing me around. No prob. But it's late and I have things I have to do, come along Spike. Said Twilight pushing Spike through the door, waving goodbye. Before long Naruto held up his hand as he and Shigiya covered their ears. 4. Why are you guy counting down? Asked Twilight while she tried to look for some candles. 3. 2. 1. Surprise. A crowd shouted as they appeared with the lights. Well we better go in and help them out, come on guys. Said Naruto, who went inside the library with Shigiya and Fluttershy following right behind him. Once inside, they saw that Twilight was surrounded by some of the partygoers as well as the girls. Hey guys and Fluttershy, glad that you were able to make it. Said Pinky, startling the three of them before handing them some punch. How do you like my welcome party? I am extra super duper positive that Twilight and Spike loved the surprise. She said as she pointed at Spike, who was having the time of his life, and Twilight, who was with the other girls, but left in a hurry through one of the doors. Oh, I guess she's shy. Pinky smiled and looked at Fluttershy. Look at that Fluttershy, there's a good chance you two can be the bestest of friends. Hello, you who over here. Rarity called out to them with the other girls. Hey girls, how's it going? Said Naruto taking a drink. Oh, you know, enjoying another one of Pinkie Pie's soiree. We also wanted to get to know the new girl. Said Rainbow Dash, with the rest of the girls agreeing with her. Yeah right said Shigiya who was inspecting his cup before putting it on one of the tables. I bet all you guys just came to check the newest competition. I don't know what you're talking about. Said Rainbow Dash, finding the ceiling interesting while the others tried not to look in Naruto's direction, who seemed confused by their reaction. Yeah, that's what I thought. He said before leaving to get another cup. What did he mean by competition? Asked Naruto. It was nothing, dear. Don't worry about it. It's nothing. Nothing, Sugarcube. It's nothing Naruto. Naruto looked at them as they all answered at the same time. Enough talking, let's party. Said Rainbow Dash. Everyone cheered and went to mingle. You guys party, I'm going to check on Twilight. Said Naruto, walking towards the door he saw Twilight go through. Hey Twilight, are you up there? Asked Naruto as he went up some stairs. Go away. Came a muffled voice. I don't want to talk to anyone right now. I'm coming in. Naruto went into the room and saw Twilight laying on a bed with her head under some pillows. Are you okay? Asked Naruto while he sat down on the bed. No. Said Twilight as she sat up and threw the pillow on the ground. There's an evil archangel coming back from 1,000-year imprisonment, ready to plunge in an everlasting night, and everyone are downstairs partying. Twilight brought her knees to her chest, and I still don't know where the elements harmony are. Silence had overtaken the room as they sat there listening to the people party downstairs. Man, you have a lot on your plate, don't ya? Said Naruto as he laid on the bed. Twilight just groaned as she laid on her back as well. What if I'm wrong about Nightmare Moon? Then you get to relax, party and have fun. And if I'm right? Then we kick her ass and stop her plans. Can it be that simple? Especially against overwhelming odds. No, but it doesn't mean that we're just going to stand there and do nothing, right? Yes, but… Hey Twilight, where are you? Said Spike from downstairs. Up here Spike. The sun is almost going to come up, we got hurry to town hall. Well we better get going and what happens, happens. Said Naruto as he went downstairs. And let's just hope to Celestia that I'm wrong. Twilight said as she gave a glance to the moon before following Naruto downstairs. Twilight never noticed the moon release a small flash before going back to normal. Everything was bustling at town hall, everyone was excited to see Princess Celestia rise the sun. "Are you guys excited?" "I know I am, I'm so excited," exclaimed Pinkie as she stood with the rest of the girls. "Yeah, can't wait to see the princess do her thing," said Applejack as she tried to keep Pinkie in place. "I bet it's going awesome when she raises the sun, right Ditsy?" "I'm just happy that my kids get to see the princess in person, though I am also excited to see the princess as well," said Ditsy. "I'm excited that I finally get to see the princess," said Naruto as he stood behind them. "Hey, where's that Canterla chick and the kid?" asked Rainbow Dash. "They said they were going to try get an audience with the princess or something like that." The mayor of the town then approached the stage and after spotting her, the crowd released a loud cheer. "Welcome everyone. Without further ado, let's give a nice warm applause to the one and only ruler of Equestria, as well as the sun and moon." The curtains were then opened by Rarity. "Princess Celestia." Everyone gave a massive cheer, but it started to die down once they noticed that the princess was not coming out. Rarity looked into the room as she gasped. "She's gone," said Rarity in surprise, as everyone gasped as well. "Oh no," whispered Twilight in shock and fear. Spike was able to overhear what she said. "Hey Twilight, what's wrong? We have to get out of here." Before Twilight could finish, the doors and windows all slammed shut. A crack of thunder was heard as a storm was starting to form in the room. An evil cackle started to echo, and with a flash of light, everyone was blinded momentarily. Once they could see again, they saw someone standing on the balcony. "She's here," said Twilight, with fear laced in her voice. "Who's she, Twilight?" asked Spike, hiding behind her, getting scared. "Hello my dear subjects, did you miss me?" said the person, in mocking voice. "Nightmare Moon. It's so nice to see my little sun-loving subjects," said the woman with sneer, glaring at the people. The woman, whose beauty almost betrayed her intimidating appearance, had olive skin with a heart-shaped face. She was a tall woman, taller than anyone in the room. She had a slender hergless figure that most women would kill to even come close to matching. She was wearing a dark blue rounded helm with a spiral horn on the top of the forehead. The dark blue shoulders were fairly rounded, wide and large in size, and decorated with a crescent moon on each side. The upper arms were protected by squared, half-covering braces which sat loosely under the shoulder plates. The lower arms covered by vambrace, which had a row of long curved spikes on the outer sides. The breastplate was made from one large piece of metal, but the lower part was crafted to mimic the appearance of pecs. It covered almost everything from the neck down, narrowing near the groin and leaving part the sides exposed. The upper legs were covered by squared, half-covering cuisses. The lower legs were protected by greaves which had a large curved spike on the front. "Who are you? What have you done with the princess?" demanded Rainbow Dash, ready to charge at the woman, but was held back by Applejack. "Hold on girl, we don't know what we're dealing with here," said Applejack as she held Rainbow Dash down from approaching the menacing figure. "Does my crown mean nothing now?" said the Dark Warrior. With anger lacing her words, "Do none of you know who I am?" Oh, is it Meanie McGrumpy Pants? Oh wait, is it Black Snooty Head, Pinkie suggested. Before she could say anything else to anger the woman, Shigiya stuffed a cupcake in her mouth. "I know who you are," said Twilight, catching her attention. She looked at the woman with fear in her eyes, hiding Spike behind her, the Lady of the Moon, Nightmare Moon. "At least someone knows who I am. Tell me peasant, what is thy name?" "My name is Twilight Sparkle, and I demand you tell us what you have done with Princess Celestia." After hearing her response, Nightmare Moon's calm demeanor turned hostile. "You have no right to demand from me anything, you cur." She raised her hand and aimed it at Twilight before firing a bolt of lightning at her. She was pushed out of the way by Naruto before it could hit her. "If you ever attack my friends again, I'll make you regret the day you were ever born," said Naruto coldly, making the others shiver from the intensity. Nightmare Moon was surprised by the tone, since no one has spoken to her like that in a long time. "Seize her, only she knows where the princess is," said the mayor, sending the guards after her. The guards flew at her, weapons drawn, ready to cut her down. "You fools," screamed Nightmare Moon as she sent a magical pulse outwards with her sword. The pulse blasted the guards back, sending them into the walls, crowd, tables and pillars. "Hear me subjects," said Nightmare Moon, getting the crowd's attention once more. "Your princess of the sun is no more, I am your sole ruler now, and the night shall last forever," she screamed. With another flash of lightning, she was gone. "Find her, we must save the princess," yelled the mayor, as some of the guards who were still conscious flew off to find her. "Come on, guys, we got to do something," said Rainbow Dash as she got ready to move. "Like what? We don't even know where she went," said Shigiya as he sat in one of the chairs. I might know someone who could know where she went," said Naruto as he watched Twilight and Spike running out the building and heading towards the public library. "Applejack, get Applebloom and go home. I don't want you two getting hurt. Don't worry about me. I can take care of myself. There is no way am I letting you go after her on your own. I'll have Big Mac take her back to the farm," said Applejack. "Yeah, like we're just going to let you fight her all by yourself," said Rainbow Dash. "I cannot simply allow you to go face that fiend alone," said Rarity as she stood next to him. "I don't want any of you to get hurt," said Fluttershy. I wanna help too," said Pinkie Pie excitedly, jumping on his back. "Are you all sure about this? It will get dangerous." They all nodded except for Ditsy. "What about you, Ditsy?" "I'm sorry guys, I want to help but I gotta make sure my kids are okay," she said with guilt on her face. "It's okay Ditsy, we understand, family comes first," said Naruto as he patted her on the shoulder. "Go check on your kids, we'll handle Nightmare Moon ourselves." The others nodding in agreement. "Thank you guys and good luck but please be careful," said Ditsy, leaving them to look for her children. "Okay guys. Next stop, the library. Elements of harmony, elements of harmony, elements of harmony," repeated Twilight as she searched through books that she levitated in front of her. "Ugh, nothing on the elements of harmony." She screamed in frustration before throwing the book next to the pile of books that she had already searched through. "Are you working for Nightmare Moon? Are you a spy?" questioned Rainbow Dash after bursting into the library and getting into Twilight's face, scaring her. "Calm down Road, she's not a spy," said Naruto, pulling her away from Twilight as the rest came into the library. "But she does know what's going on, don't you Twilight?" "Yes." "Hey, where's the little kid that was with you?" Shigiya asked, noticing that Spike wasn't with her. "He's been up all night, so I had put him to sleep." "Good, don't want the little guy getting involved in this crazy mess," said Shigiya, letting out a tired sigh. "Now why the fuck is there a 1,000-year-old bitch hellbent on bringing eternal night?" "Shigiya. Language," scolded Rarity. "I don't give shit right now Rarity, so shove it," said Shigiya. "All I wanna hear right now is how are we going to stop that nightmare bitch?" "Well, we can stop her by using the elements of harmony." "Okay, now where are they?" "I don't know." Twilight grabbed another book before she started to skim through it. "I'm looking through every book in the library but still nothing on the elements of harmony." "Elements of harmony. A reference guide," said Pinkie as she held the book in her hands before it was taken from her. "Where did you find it?" asked Twilight as she skimmed through the book. "It was under E," said Pinkie Pie in a sing-song voice while twirling around Twilight. Twilight had to stop herself from smacking her face from the simplicity of the answer but decided to get back on track. "So where are they?" asked Naruto. "The last known location of the elements are in the castle of the two sisters located in the Everfree Forest." As Twilight finished reading the passage, she noticed that everyone had gone quiet. "Hey, are you sure it said the Everfree Forest?" asked Applejack with hint of fear in her voice, breaking the silence. "Yes, why? What wrong?" asked Twilight as she noticed that most of them seemed hesitant except for Naruto and Shigiya. "Well," started Applejack. "The Everfree Forest ain't like the rest of Equestria. The trees grow by themselves," said Rarity. "The animals take care of themselves," said Fluttershy. "And the clouds move all on their own," said Applejack and Rainbow Dash together. Fucking terrifying," said Shigiya, unimpressed by what he just heard before walking out the door. "Let's go, I wanna get this night over with already." "The Everfree Forest is not as scary as you make it sound, you know," said Naruto as he followed Shigiya. "Who said anything about us being scared?" said Rainbow Dash as she followed behind them. "I'm not letting y'all go by yourselves," said Applejack as she followed them as well. "We cannot just let our friends fight a powerful archangel by themselves. Come on girls, let's go," said Rarity as the rest of the girls left except for Twilight who just stood there trying to understand why everyone was trying so hard to help her. "Come on Twilight, we got a spooky castle to find," called out Pinkie Pie. Twilight put these thoughts on hold for a later date. She had a mission to accomplish. "So what else is there to the forest?" asked Twilight as she looked around in her surroundings after entering the Everfree Forest. Some of the girls had stuck close Naruto and Shigiya but more close to Naruto as they seemed to not be fazed by the environment. "Do you really want to know?" said Rainbow Dash with mischief in her voice. "Here we go," said Shigiya as he started to rub his forehead in annoyance. "Because once you go into the Everfree Forest," Rainbow Dash walked to the girls menacing scaring the girls, "you never come out." Once she said that, the whole cliffside that they were on had collapsed, everyone screaming as they fell. Naruto, Applejack and Shigiya grabbed onto some branches and roots before Naruto grabbed Rarity, while Shigiya grabbed Pinkie Pie and Applejack had grabbed Twilight. "Great," said Shigiya with a groan. I got Little Miss Sugar Rush, fantastic. Oh, Shaggy, don't be like that, I know you like hanging around me," said Pinkie Pie smiling, giving Shigiya a hug. "Whatever," grunted out Shigiya before climbed down with Pinkie hanging on his back. "Are you okay, Rarity?" asked Naruto. "Yes, I'm fine, dear," said Rarity as she hugged him tighter. "Good," said Naruto. "Now let's get down from here, try to get on my back." "Okay." Rarity started to shift around to get on his back. "Okay, now hold on tight," he said before he started to climb down. Once they reached the bottom, they found that everyone else was there as well. "Is everyone okay?" asked Naruto as he put Rarity down. "Yeah, it was touch and go there for a sec, but we were able to pull through," said Applejack as she looked at Twilight, who looked a little shaken, before Applejack put her hand on her shoulder to calm her down, which seemed to work. "Yeah," said Twilight quietly before turning to Applejack. "Thank you, Applejack." "No problem, Sugarcube, that's what friends are for," she said with a smile. "Come on, guys," said Rainbow Dash, heading to the castle. Everyone else started to follow her, all except Naruto. He seemed to be distracted by something. "Hey Naruto, what's wrong, man?" asked Shigiya, seeing his friend zoning out. "I feel like there's something watching us," said Naruto as he looked around the forest. "Well, we are in the Everfree Forest, where a lot of carnivores live here that want to eat us, so it's sorta to be expected, you know." "Yeah, but it feels more menacing." "Really?" asked Shigiya and was given a nod. "Should we be worried?" "Just be ready for anything," said Naruto, following the girls. "Fine," said Shigiya as he followed behind them, more alert, never noticing the blue mist pass above them. After getting past the illusionary trees, thanks to, much to Shigiya's dread, Pinkie's singing, they were able to make it to a clearing. "We're almost there, just past this clearing and we'll be at the castle," said Twilight as they got to the center. They started to hear flapping. "What's that noise?" "Get down," screamed Naruto, pushing Twilight down as a pair of claws were about to grab them. "Brow," screamed the creature as it landed in front of them. "Are you for real? What is that doing here?" said Shigiya, looking at the creature in front them. The creature in question looked to be a lion, but that's where the similarities end. On its head it had a pair of horns, pointing inwards. On its upper back were a pair of bat wings and had a scorpion stinger for a tail. "Is that a manticore?" asked Twilight as they kept their eyes on it. "Yep," said Naruto as he started down the manticore. Just as they were going to engage it, they started to hear growling from behind them. "For creator's sake, you've got to be kidding me," said Shigiya as they saw a pack of timberwolves coming out from the forest. "This is completely bullshit, man." "Girls," said Naruto, getting their attention while still focusing on the timberwolves. "You all focus on the manticore while Shigiya and I take care of the timberwolves. Everyone understand?" "Yes." "Okay, go," said Naruto as he and Shigiya rushed at the timberwolves. "Why the hell are they here? This is not their territory," asked Shigiya as he kicked one that lunged at him before punching another one in the head. "I don't know, but something about these timberwolves doesn't feel right," said Naruto as he dodged a bite before kneeing at the brisket. "I'm betting that nightmare bitch had something to do with this, just like all of the other shit that has been happening to us," said Shigiya as he grabbed one by the head, throwing him back at the other wolves. "But there is something familiar about them," said Naruto. "What? Other than the fact that they attacked us before?" "No, it's just that something about them feels familiar." Naruto looked at where the girls were and noticed that the manticore was purring as Fluttershy scratched its fur. "Well shit, I guess I got worried for nothing," said Shigiya before he started to squint his eyes. "What happened to Fluttershy's hair?" "Way to go, Fluttershy," said Naruto, praising Fluttershy after hearing what happened with the manticore. "Awesome job," Shigiya said, giving praise as well. Fluttershy just blushed after receiving all the praise from her friends. "Come on, we still have a ways to go before reaching the castle," said Twilight, with the others following behind her. They reached a river that led to the castle, but there was rapid waves blocking their path. They began trying to figure out a way to cross the river. They started to hear rushing water and crying. As they got closer to the noise, they saw a giant purple sea serpent crying, unknowingly causing rapid waves to the river. "Oh hoo hoo," cried out the serpent, still not noticing the group approaching him. "Hey Basilf," said Shigiya as he talked to the serpent, trying to get his attention. "Yes. Who called me?" said the now named Basilf before noticing there were some strangers in front of him and then realizing Shigiya and Naruto with them. "Naruto, Shigiya, how are you two doing?" said Basilf before he started to cover his face. "Wait, don't look at me, I look simply dreadful." "What are you talking about, man? You look fine," said Shigiya, not seeing anything wrong with his friend. "Thank you for the kind words, but look at what happened to my mustache," said Basilf, uncovering his face, showing his mustache. One part of the mustache was perfectly groomed while the other cut off. The only one to gasp in horror was Rarity. "What happened to your mustache?" asked Naruto. Well, I was heading home after my family reunion, like I told you before, when this tacky little blue mist sped by me and just cuts off my mustache for no reason. He said before he started to get depressed again. Now I look simply horrible. That's it, he's crying over some bad facial hair. Said Rainbow Dash in disbelief, wondering how someone can cry over such a trivial thing. How can you all be so insensitive? Said Rarity, walking up to Basil to look at his well-groomed hair. Oh, I know. His perfectly manicured claws. Oh, I know. And his beautifully polished scales. I know. All ruined because of your mustache. OIKNOW, cried Basil as he started splashing water, soaking the girls and Shigiya, while Naruto was able to avoid thanks to his amazing reflexes. Fuck man, I hate getting my clothes wet. Grumble. Shigiya was wringing out his shirt. He looked at Naruto, seeing he was the only one that didn't get wet, but then he saw his face was beet red. He looked at what was bothering him and couldn't stop a smile from forming on his face at the sight before them. Naruto was about to laugh at them until he looked at the girls. Naruto felt his face burn and his pants get a little tighter. It seems all of the girls' wet clothes had clung onto their bodies, showing off their amazing figures and leaving little to his imagination. Naruto watched as water slowing fell down their bodies. Who's the pervert now? Said Shigiya, smiling, seeing Naruto was looking at the girls. Naruto blushed for getting caught, and by Shigiya of all people. Shut up. The girls were not listening to their conversation as they were busy trying to get dry. Rarity and Twilight dried them off with their magic as pulled the water off of them. Do not worry, Rarity will fix this problem. The girl herself exclaimed as she walked closer to Basil. She used her magic to grab one of Basil's scales before yanking it out. Ouch! Yelped Basil before glaring at Rarity. What did you do that for? Instead of answering, Rarity levitated the scale towards her head and using her magic again to pull on her hair, then using the scale to cut her hair. Everyone was surprised at Rarity for what she had done. Rarity levitated her hair up to Basil's cut mustache before fusing them together and changing it to match the color. Now you look smashing. Ooh, thank you so much. Said Basil as he checked his reflection in the water. How can I ever repay you? No need, I just happy I could help with such a serious problem. Oh Rarity, your beautiful hair, said Fluttershy as she looked at Rarity's once long hair which now barely reached her shoulders now. Don't worry dear, short hair was all the rage this season, said Rarity with a bit of disappointment in her voice, trying to fix her new hairstyle. Besides, it'll grow back. So what of the mustache? Whispered Rainbow Dash to the others. Well, we better get going. Said Naruto, ready to start it to walk through the water. Wait, said Basil, allow me. He went into the water before using his body as a bridge. Everyone started crossing, glad that they didn't have to get wet again. Thanks Basil, said Naruto, waving at Basil. See ya, hope you have great family reunion. Yeah, don't be afraid to bring us souvenirs, okay? Bye fellas, bring that little friend of yours next time you plan on visiting, she's a real treat. Said Basil before leaving as well. So how do you guys know him? Asked Rainbow Dash, curious on how they were friends with a sea serpent. We met him a month ago when Shigiya and I went camping. You guys go camping? Asked Rarity. Yeah, once or twice a week on the weekend. Said Naruto. So that's why I never see you guys on the weekend. Said Rainbow Dash. So where do you guys camp at? Whitetail Forest. Rainbow Falls. The FFT, no, said Shigiya, smiling like he heard something funny. Those are too easy and get crowded on the weekend. No, we go camping here in the Everfree Forest. What? Are you crazy? Screamed Applejack, finally speaking up. I knew you guys went camping, but I didn't think you guys would go camping here of all places. It's not as bad as you guys think it is, it's only dangerous when you go deep into the forest. Said Naruto, trying to calm them down. Though he didn't tell them that Shigiya insisted on camping there anyway. I don't see what's the big deal is, I mean I live in the Everfree Forest. You're kidding? Asked Rainbow Dash, looking at Shigiya in disbelief. No, he's not lying. Piped in Naruto. He was also surprised learning that Shigiya lived in the Everfree. Eyes, said Twilight, interrupting their conversation. As much as the conversation is as interesting as it is, we got to focus, the castle is just up ahead. Just as she finished saying that, they started to see the castle, which they were able to see clearly under the moonlight. They noticed that the only way to the castle was to cross the bridge, but it seemed to be disconnected from the other side. How are we going to get across now? Said Pinkie Pie, staring at the deep cavern before she threw a rock into it. After a while she finally heard the rock, but it was faint. Hello, Wings here, said Rainbow Dash as she floated above them. I'll get this bridge all fixed up in no time. Rainbow Dash flew to the other side of the cliff. She was about to get the end of the bridge until she started to hear someone calling her name. Rainbow Dash, said the voice from beyond the fog. Rainbow Dash, come here Rainbow Dash. Who's there? Show yourself. said Rainbow Dash, landing on the cliff putting her fist up, ready to fight for any incoming threat. She was able to see a pair of glowing yellow eyes. Don't worry Rainbow Dash, we didn't come here to fight you, we came here to ask you to become one of us. Said the voice as they finally revealed themselves. Who are you guys? Asked Rainbow Dash. We are the shadowbolts, the greatest flyers in all of Equestria, said the female in the middle, and we've come to ask you to join us. Why? Because we heard that you are one of the greatest flyers in all of Equestria. So true, said Rainbow Dash. And thank you for the offer, but I'm not looking to be part of any group. Said Rainbow Dash, getting ready to fly until she heard the next part. We want you to be our leader. What? Oh yes, said the female, smiling with victory's smirk, we came here to ask one of the greatest flyers to lead us and become the greatest in all of Equestria. Again, I'm no. You could get Naruto by your side. She said, smiling like she had won the lottery. What? Said Rainbow Dash blushing, being caught off guard. Yes, she started walking up to Rainbow Dash, become our leader, and you can impress him enough that he will ask you to be his girlfriend, maybe even his wife. Rainbow Dash stood there thinking everything that had set up to this point. Hey Rainbow Dash. Where are you? Yelled Naruto as well as he tried to look for her through fog. Yeah hurry up we don't got all night. Yelled Shigiya, getting tired of waiting for her. Yes we do. Remember? Said Pinky like it was the most obvious thing. Shut it Pinky screamed Shigiya, which earned him a raspberry from her. Then she could not hear them no more as the fog got thicker. So what do you say, Rainbow Dash? Asked the female once more. Leave your friends, become one of us, and get Naruto or go help them and lose it all. Rainbow Dash gave a small pause before taking a deep breath. Thanks for the offer guys, said Rainbow Dash, making the shadowbolts making them smile in victory, but I have to decline your offer. I just can't abandon my friends, no matter how tempting the offer. Rainbow Dash flew down to where the other end of the bridge was and taking it to where her friends were. Hey guys, how's it going? She said as show on D next to them. What took you so long road? Asked Naruto, you were out there for a while. Sorry, it was kinda hard to find it in all that fog. Fine whatever said Shigiya rudely, earning him a glare from Rainbow Dash. Let's just go get those elements of harmony and kick that bitch's ass. Said Shigiya crossing the bridge. You heard him, let's go finish this now, said Twilight as they started to cross the bridge as well. Well this is where they are, said Twilight as they step in through two giant wooden doors. When they got inside, the only thing inside was a pedestal with 5 sphere-shaped rocks. But we're still missing one, said Naruto, remembering that there was supposed to be 6 of them. We don't have time or any choice right now. I'm going to try to activate them without the last element, maybe it might reveal where it is, said Twilight, stepping in front of the elements. Everyone please stand back, it could get dangerous. Everyone had stepped back as they were told, seeing her levitating the elements around her. Twilight started to infuse her magic into them, but stopped when nothing had happened. She then laid them down on the ground. Why won't it work? What's missing? Asked Twilight, winded from exerting too much energy. Before anyone could say anything, they started to hear cackling in the room. On the center of the pedestal, a dark purple mist started to swirl around, forming Nightmare Moon. She appeared in front of the elements. She looked at them before turning her gaze to the elements. She brought her hand forward, with it glowing as the same glow wrapped around the elements. They started to levitate around Nightmare Moon. With one swift grip of her hand she destroyed the elements to pieces. Makes it all the easier to get in of you all, she said mocking before giving them an evil smirk. Bring it on bitch. I ain't afraid to kick your demonic ass, yelled Shigiya, getting in a fighting stance. Yeah, if you want Equestria, you have to go through us first. Said Rainbow Dash, with her and the other getting in a fighting stance as well. Gladly. Said Nightmare Moon, before charging at them, sword drawn. She first targeted Twilight as she was the closest, but was interrupted by Applejack attempted to drop kick her. She jumped back and kicked Applejack away. She dodged another attack from Shigiya, who was using a pillar to strike her, but she blocked it with her sword and used it to destroy the pillar. Well fuck, Shigiya dodged a slash from her sword before giving kick to head. She easily dodged the attack before blasting him to the wall, knocking him out. She moved again as Rainbow Dash and Pinkie Pie both moved to attack her. Rainbow Dash was aiming to punch her in the face, while Pinkie Pie was aiming to kick her in the stomach. She dodges Rainbow Dash as she ducked and blocked Pinkie's kick. She grabbed Pinkie Pie's leg and threw her at Rainbow Dash, slamming both of them on the wall. How can she be so strong? Groaned Rainbow, getting Pinkie off her before checking if she was okay. I guess this is the power of an archangel's. Said Naruto, amazed by the skills she had displayed. Rarity levitated some rocks that were around her before firing them at Nightmare, but she was able to block them easily with her sword. She was going to move towards her but was interrupted by Naruto, who tried to punch her in the face. Nightmare Moon jumped back before delivering an uppercut. Naruto barely had time to dodge it. Naruto tried to punch her again, but instead of dodging she grabbed his wrist and prepared for another uppercut. Naruto punched her in the face as hard as he could before she had a chance to hit him. She staggered back, trying to get her balance back after skull bashed. Nightmare tried to regain her focus before standing back tall again. Nightmare was again surprised by this individual. "I must admit, that actually stung," she said as she stood up straight. "Not many are able to hurt me, so I commend your strength." She turned to Twilight, who was shivered in fear when she looked at her. "You on the other hand are weak, you who just watched your comrades fight, well you hide like sniveling coward that you are," she said, with each insult causing Fluttershy to flinch. Nightmare Moon sneered at her reaction. "Pathetic. You leave her alone, you ruffian," yelled Rarity, as started to use her magic again, but instead was pushed against the wall. "In my kingdom, the strong shall live, and the weak will perish," said Nightmare Moon, as her sword started to glow a violet purple giving off a small hum. She looked at Twilight with a look of disgust, "And those that defy me shall suffer." Nightmare Moon fired another bolt of energy, but this time it was bigger than the last one. Everyone was screaming at Twilight to get out of the way or to move, but she didn't, as she was paralyzed in fear. She shut her eyes, preparing for her demise. Instead of feeling the blast, she felt something or someone pushed her. She opened her eyes and gasped. The one that pushed her out of the way was Naruto, before he was blasted away. "Naruto!" screamed the girls, as they watched him get blasted to the pedestal, destroying it. Twilight ran to him. She saw that he was buried under some of the rubble with cuts and burn marks littering his body. "Oh sweet Celestia, Naruto," said Twilight. "See Naruto's condition. Don't worry Naruto. We'll get you some medical help. Please hang on." Even when she removed the last of the debris, Naruto had still laid there unconscious, bleeding from his wounds. Twilight felt guilty seeing the person that saved her in such a state. If she ever get through this mess alive, she should really thank her teacher for teaching her healing magic. "Why?" Twilight asked, shedding some tears, seeing how badly hurt he was protecting her. "Why would he do that for a complete stranger?" "Because you're my friend." Twilight looked at Naruto, who was coughing up some blood and wheezing, before he started to breathe a little easier as Twilight continued to heal him. "Yeah, I'm pretty sure that she broke some of my bones." "You idiot," screamed Twilight, smacking Naruto in the face. "Why did you do that?" "Ow," moaned Naruto, giving Twilight a light glare before his eyes softened after hear her question. "I helped you because you're my friend." "What?" asked Twilight, not understanding being friends had to do with him getting hurt. "Friends are there to help each other when you need it the most," Naruto continued. He started to cough up more blood. Then something in Twilight clicked, finally understanding how to defeat Nightmare Moon. "Thank you Naruto," said Twilight, gently hugging Naruto. "You're welcome," said Naruto, before closing his eyes. "Now if you'll excuse me, I'm going to pass out now." Twilight smiled at him, before frowning. She started to hear clanking from behind her. She turned and saw Nightmare Moon standing in front of her. She looked behind her and saw the girls on the ground hurt but still breathing. "I must say that it was kinda touching. Believed that I should humor you and watch this out while I squashed your little group, but ultimately it was a waste of time and energy. It's time that I should end," she said, unsheathing her sword. "Good night." Nightmare raised her sword, before it down. She expected to see bloodstain on her sword, but instead cut it through the rubble that Appraise had once been. She turned to hear the sound of teleportation from behind her. She saw Twilight still holding Naruto, before gently putting him down. "I must admit, I commend your drive to resist death, even against an overwhelming adversary," Nightmare complimented, before resheath her sword. "Discard your shackles of the Monarch of the Sun and join me. Become a child of the night." Twilight ignored her, deciding to check on the others instead. "Are you girls okay?" she asked Applejack as she helped her sit up straight. Applejack hissed in pain after trying to sit up, letting a sigh of relief when Twilight began healing her with her magic, before beginning to heal the rest of the girls. "We're still breathing, even if it just barely," said Rainbow Dash as she clutched her ribs, glad it was starting to ease up a bit. "Owie, she really is a meanie," said Pinky, rubbing her bleeding nose. While this was going on, Nightmare was getting angrier by every passing second they ignored her. She was about to cut down these insolent curds when Twilight addressed her. "Nightmare Moon, it is time to put an end to your terror," said Twilight as she helped the girls back on their feet. Nightmare almost had to hold back a laugh after hearing Twilight's declaration. "Pray tell, how will you accomplish this?" asked Nightmare, forgetting her anger for a moment. "Even with your combined strength, you were unable to place any lasting damage on my being, and the only thing that can stop me is destroyed. So I ask how you will stop me without your precious elements of harmony." "That's the thing, you think you destroyed the elements just like that?" asked Twilight, looking at Nightmare with the fire burning in her eyes, and the determination in her voice caused Nightmare to take a step back and the girls to stand up straighter. "Then you are a fool, as the spirits of the elements of harmony are right here." The shards of the destroyed element started to glow before they slowly started to floating in the air and head towards the group. Applejack started Twilight, seeing the shards head towards them when she reassured me when I was in doubt, representing herself as the spirit of honesty. Fluttershy, who tamed the manticore with compassion, representing herself as the spirit of kindness. Pinkie Pie, who banished our fears in the face of danger, representing herself as the spirit of laughter. Rarity, who calmed down a sorrowful serpent by giving him a meaningful gift, representing herself as the spirit of generosity. And Rainbow Dash, who would not abandon her friends for her own desires, representing herself as the spirit of loyalty. With each declaration of each act, the shards floated towards them, shining brighter than before. Nightmare stepped further back as fear gripped her heart, as well as realizing her blunder. She helped them gain the elements instead of preventing them from acquiring them, but there was still one missing element. And the spirits of these 5 helped overcome each obstacle you threw at us. Wait, started Nightmare, fear laced in her voice, you're still missing the 6th element, so the spark shouldn't have worked. But it did, said Twilight, turning to look at the people that she is happy to call her friends. I felt at the very moment I realized how happy was to hear you, to see you, how much I cared about you. Twilight then looked at Naruto, and how you helped me when I needed it the most. The spark ignited in me and all of us when I realized that you were my friends. After that declaration, bright light shined from above them as another sphere appeared with the insignia of a star. It headed towards Twilight before shattering into pieces and started to circle around her as well. You see, Nightmare Moon, when those elements are ignited by the spark that resided within us, it creates the 6th element, the element of magic. The light shined, engulfing the room. Each of the shards the girls' posse transformed into a necklace with their cutie mark on them, while Twilight's transformed into a crown. Nightmare blasted towards, ready to cut them down before it was too late. Just when she neared them, she was blasted back to the altar. Before she could try something else, a powerful rainbow blast released and headed straight towards her. No! Screamed Nightmare Moon before being swallowed by the rainbow, then the room was engulfed by a blinding flash. The girls were lying on the ground after the flash. Before slowly they started to awaken. Ugh, my head is killing me. Groaned Rainbow Dash, rubbing her head, trying to ease the migraine. Is everybody okay? Asked Applejack as she slowly got back on her feet. Oh, thanks goodness! Exclaimed Rarity, causing the girls to turn to her. They saw that her hair was back the way it was before she cut it. Rarity, it's so lovely, said Fluttershy, looking at Rarity's new accessory. I know, I'll never part from it again, she said, still focusing on her hair. No, I mean your necklace. Fluttershy pointed at her necklace, it looks just like your cutie mark. Fluttershy gasped as she finally noticed as well. All the girls started to notice that necklace held their cutie mark. Look at mine, exclaimed Pinkie Pie, jumping happily for her new necklace. Oh yeah, now this is some cool bling, said Rainbow Dash, admiring her necklace with her mark. Twilight just marveled at that crown she had received. Twilight, here I thought you were spouting nonsense. I guess we really do represent the elements of harmony. Indeed you all do, a voice echoed out of nowhere. The girls looked around trying to find the voice before a bright light come from the window. They shielded their eyes until the light showed it to be Princess Celestia. The girls gasped before immediately bowing down to her, except for Twilight, who ran to her. Princess Celestia. Twilight hugging her teacher, who returned the gesture as well. Happy to see one another were safe. I knew you could do it, my faithful student, said Celestia, pride and happiness in voice. Twilight let go of her, confused by her statement. But I thought you didn't believe me. Twilight looked at her mentor questioningly. Celestia let out a small laugh before calming down. But that's where you're wrong, Twilight. I never said that I didn't believe you, I just told you that you should make some friends, nothing more. I knew you had the power to stop Nightmare, but you would never be able to use it until you let true friends into your heart. Twilight turned to look at her new friends, smiling as they did the same, before giving each other a group hug. Celestia smiled at the scene before turning into a sad frown, turning to where Nightmare Moon used to be. There she saw a young girl around Twilight age wearing a white nightgown, lying on the ground. She long cyan blue hair that reached to her mid-back. Princess Luna. Celestia walked to the girl named Luna, who woke up startled. She turned and faced Celestia, with fear evident in her eyes. It's been 1,000 years since I seen you like this, spoke Celestia as she kneeled down to Luna. Luna shied away from Celestia, but Celestia grabbed her, bringing her into a hug. Luna squirmed before finally settling down. It's time to put our differences behind us. We were meant to rule together, little sister. Some of the girls were surprised by this information, as very few knew what happened to Celestia's sister. Would you return to me once more? Celestia asked, and with pleaded in her voice as she looked down at her sister, still in an embrace. Luna was quiet while everyone waited for her answer. Luna immediately returned the embrace while shedding tears. She cried into Celestia's chest repeatedly saying sorry. I miss so much big sister, cried Luna, hugging her sister tighter, happy to be with her once more. Celestia returned the hug just as much as she did, shedding tears as well, happy to have her little sister back. The girls were crying from such a touching moment. It was interrupting from some groaning coming from behind them. They turned and saw that Naruto was waking up, the girls immediately ran to him having forget that he was there as well. Ugh, what happened? He asked feeling sore right now as he tried to sit up, with the girls helping him. He looked around noticing that Nightmare Moon was gone and 2 new people were in the room. Oh, you should have seen it, Naruto started. Pinkie Pie sitting in front of him, after you passed out Luna had beaten us into a pulp. Then Twilight was saying funny stuff about friendship. Then those fears that black snotty head broke into millions of little pieces before then started to float around us like magic. Then we started float around also. Then a rainbow shot out of nowhere, hitting Moonbit and to wrap around her like some giant colorful cocoon. Then a bright light happened and then we went to sleep when we woke up with massive headache, but then we noticed something amazing. Pinkie appearing next to Rarity, scaring her before wrapping herself with Rarity's hair. Rarity's hair grew back like nothing happened to it. Rarity started whining at Pinkie to let go of her hair. Oh, said Pinkie, letting go of Rarity's hair. We also got these nifty little necklaces, while Twilight got a cool crown. Man, I want a cool crown too. Pinkie pouted, playing with her necklace. Pinkie, Naruto called out, snapping Pinkie out of it. Yes. She asked Pinkie, looking at Naruto questioningly. Is that all that happened? He asked. Pinkie looked before remembering what they were talking about. Nope. She said happily. Anyway, after all that happened, Princess Celestia showed up out of nowhere in sparkly lights. Then she said some things, Twilight said some things, and then it was a big happy reunion. But wait, there's more. After that happened, Princess Celestia started walking to where Nightmare Moon was before we blasted her with the rainbow cannon. And to our surprise she was still there, but it wasn't her, though it was some else. It turned out to be Princess Celestia's sister. Which it was a big surprise to me, because I did not know Princess Celestia even had a sister. Then they had a family reunion, which was really sad because it was really touch, which made me cry buckets. Then you woke up and I started to tell you what happened when you were asleep. After Pinkie finished telling her very long explanation, Naruto looked at the other girls, who nodded to him, confirmed that what Pinkie said was true. Wow, said Naruto, scratching his head, wondering how he was able to miss all that. He looked around the room. Hey, where's Shigiya? Naruto asked, seeing as he was not with the group. The girls started to look around the room trying to find him. It did not take long as Pinkie Pie found buried neck deep in rubble. Hey wakey wakey, eggs and bakey, sing Pinkie Pie, poking Shigiya and trying to wake him up. Come on Shigiya, wake up man. Said Naruto, a little worried, moving some rubble with the help of the girls. They sighed in relief when Shigiya opened his eyes. Shigiya let out a annoyed grunt as Pinkie kept poking him on the face. What do you guys want? I'm trying to sleep here. Said Shigiya, ignoring Pinkie's constant poking, seeing as it was too much of a hassle to stop her. Shigiya, I got to tell you what happened while you were asleep. Shigiya stopped her before she could start. Enough, I already heard it all. Your big mouth woke me up when you first started. Hey, mouth ain't that big. Pouted Pinkie. Well, it's big enough to wake me up. Said Shigiya, getting up and dusting himself off. Naruto looked at them, seeing as everything was back to normal, or at least normal as it will ever be with this group of friends. Naruto turned to Twilight, who was still looking at her mentor, who was making up for lost time with her sister. Twilight was happy to see her mentor like this, finally together with her sister. It seems everything worked out better than you expected, huh? Said Naruto, waking up to her from behind. Yes, said Twilight, my original plan was to stop Nightmare from returning, but I guess it's true that the first plan almost never works out like it's supposed to. Would you change it? Never. Said Twilight as she watched her teacher and her sister come towards them. I would like to thank you all for saving me from my darkness. Said Luna, bowing to the group, as well Celestia. Please princess, we just did what we had to do. Said Twilight, embarrassed from their action. But you all risked your lives fighting my other self, trying to stop her. Well, we couldn't just let her do what she wanted, said Naruto. Yeah. Can you imagine nighttime all the time? We have to sleep all day every day. Said Rainbow Dash. Well, there are lots of things to do at night, Dashi, like rave parties. But that means I would have to buy lots of glow sticks to throw at the party goers. Said Pinkie, putting up a thinking pose. Anyway, we were happy to help princess. Said Applejack, with the others nodding to her statement. Still, we are eternally grateful to you all, said Luna, bowing to them again. Now that this is all over and done with, you know what this call for? A party. Screw that, I'm home to sleep, said Shigiya, hear Pinkie's statement. When they returned to Appleville, they were greeted by both the citizens and as well as the royal guards. They all bowed when they saw Celestia approach the entrance of the forest. Twilight. Screamed Spike, happy to see that her big sister was okay. He ran and hugged her, crying into her stomach. Twilight returned it, happy to see that he was okay as well. "Rise my subject," said Celestia, approaching her subjects with her sister following right behind her. "Princess, we are glad you are okay," said one of the guards as they all returned to position. She was wearing a purple version of the armor with a light purple star badge on her chest piece. She took off her helmet revealing her sapphire blue hair. She had light tanned skin with a strong jawline. Before she could say anything else, Twilight ran up hugged her. "The SBFF!" screamed Twilight, seeing her sister again. "Welly," said the guard, surprised to see Twilight. "The SBFF?" said the others wondering what that meant. "Big sister, it's so good to see again." Twilight let go of her before grabbing her hand and dragging her to meet her new friends. "I want you to meet my new friends." "Here they are, my best friend," said Twilight as she introduced them all to her. "Guys, and this is my big sister, best friend forever, Gleaming Armor Sparkle. She's also captain of the Royal Guards." It would be understandable to say that Gleaming Armor was surprised. Her little sister, who was considered the most antisocial person in all of Canterlot, who the only people she ever socializes with are her, their family, Princess Cadence and Princess Celestia, made friends outside that circle. Now don't get her wrong, she knew her sister would make friends one day, she just didn't think she would make so many in such a short since they last met. "It's nice to meet you all," she said. "I hope my little sister hasn't caused you too much trouble." Actually, started Shigiya before Naruto elbowed him in the ribs. "Ow, asshole." "Nah, no problem at all, she was really fun to hang out with," said Naruto, smiling at Twilight, who smiled back at him. "That's good to know," said Gleaming Armor, noticing Twilight and Naruto's interactions. She files that down for later, she had work to do. She turned to Princess Celestia and bowed to her. "Princess, we received report that Nightmare Moon had appeared. Is it true? If so, where is she? And who's the person behind you?" "Do not worry, Captain. Your sister and her friends were able to vanquish her, and this is my beloved sister, Princess Luna, who was freed from Nightmare Moon's clutches." "So Nightmare Moon is gone?" "Yes, she's gone." Everyone was silent until everyone started to cheer, happy that Nightmare Moon was gone. Everyone surrounded the group before carrying them, bringing them to a chariot. The crowd started throwing confetti, while some of the kids gave them flower necklaces. Twilight was happy that everything turned out great. She looked at her new friends, giving a sad frown, realizing that it's all over. Celestia noticed her student's change of demeanor. "What's the matter, my faithful student? I finally experience what it feels like to friends, and now I have to leave them," she said sadly before suddenly a bright idea came to Celestia's mind. "Spike." Celestia called out, catching those around her attention. "Yes, Princess. Would you please take note?" she asked him. "Yes, ma'am," saluted Spike before pulling out a parchment and a quill from his pockets. "I, Princess Celestia, hereby decree the sorceress Twilight Sparkle shall take on a new study. She must continue her study of the magic of friendship and must report all of her findings to me at her new home at Golden Oaks Library in Appleville." Twilight was so happy that she ran embraced her friends, happy that she can hang out with them longer. On another note, spoke Celestia, gaining their attention once more, "Princess Luna shall be living and studying alongside Twilight." Everyone was shocked by that announcement, no more so than Princess Luna. As sister Luna was confused by her sister declaration. Celestia sensed her sister confusion and turned to address her. "Dear sister, I would love nothing more than have you by my side once more." "Then why? It's been 1,000 years since you ruled beside me," said Celestia, placing her hand on her shoulder. "The world has changed so much since your absence. So you must learn the world that's around you." "Then why can't I learn with you at Canterlot?" she asked, looking at her sister for question. "Because there is another reason for decision as well. Even before the incident, you always chose to be by yourself, never trying to meet new people. That is why I want you learn alongside Twilight and make some friends as well. Do you understand?" "I understand, sister." "Oh my gosh. This is the best day ever. This calls out for a super duper party blowout. Am I right, people?" Everyone cheered as the festival had finally started, as well the celebration of the return of their princess. Never knowing that this event will be the pinnacle of a series of a chain of reactions for the world around them. What if Naruto was Yubi and My Little Pony end here, and thanks for watching my video till the end.